show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to look control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a slice, extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame, ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do? Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver. Dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, back in the building. We got the homie Carter Presents in the building. How's everybody doing? Hope y'all are doing well. We had some technical difficulties shortly before we started, but it is okay. Everything is okay. I do want to apologize in advance. We do have, at Casa de Blerd, we do have people working on the house, on the outside, which means there will occasionally, or maybe very often, be banging outside my window, which is, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it has to happen. Anyway, point of the matter is, man, we got a jam-packed show, as always. I feel like every show's a jam-packed show. Even when it isn't a jam-packed show, we still wind up with a jam-packed show every time. Never fails. Carter, how you doing, pimp?
Hey yo.
Actually, I thought you were about to pull a Scott Hall. God rest his soul. I thought you were about to be a yo.
Survey time.
Uh-oh. What you got?
Did you all think I would be drinking during the show? Or because of the technical difficulties, did you expect Carter to finish his drink before the show started?
So what you're saying is you already turned.
I am lightly focused.
Lightly focused.
I don't even know if that was the phrase I was looking for, though. What the fuck did you just drop in your room?
That's the people banging outside my damn window during showtime hours, no less.
You're supposed to peek out the window and shake your fist like this.
Be like, stop it! Oh my god. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it after the show's over. Just me and you, because I can't vent the way I want to vent. I want to say some really nasty, ugly things, but I'm gonna keep it to myself at this precise moment and instance in time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's do it. Okay, so man, let's go ahead and just start. Let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. Can we just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off right quick?
I don't even have a Band-Aid on, but sure.
Okay, that works too. So the main thing we're going to talk about first, before we really get into it. Yes, I do have on new glasses. They're not really new anymore. I've actually had these glasses for like the last last month and a half. Or no, month. It's been a month. It's been a little over a month maybe. Somewhere in the middle of that. But yeah. Let's go. What's up, everybody? So very recently, as of 3 days? Was it 3 days ago? 2 or 3 days ago?
Maybe.
Matt Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Reeves had released the deleted scene that had been rumored and talked about for months leading up to the release of the Batman. It's a deleted scene we all kind of knew was there. At least I think a lot of people knew it was there. It was talked about so much that it was to the point that, yeah. Anyway, to talk about this, we are going to give up some spoilers for the Batman. So if you have not seen it, then you don't want to be spoiled. I mean, honestly, by this point, the cat's been out of the bag. But yeah, just giving you the fair warning. But that said, basically, we got rumors a ways back that there was a character that was in the movie, and that there were 2 different cuts of the film, and one of those cuts lacked this particular character. Well, we come to find out we know exactly who that character was. It was the Joker. And the Joker, played by Barry Keoghan, who I feel like most people probably know him from the movie Dunkirk. But Barry Keoghan, good guy, by the way. Very nice guy, by the way. Sometimes difficult to understand because he has like a super thick-ass accent.
Does he?
Yes, he does. If you actually, if you go back and watch the Eternals, he plays the character Druig. he is, yeah, that boy accent thick. That boy accent is hella thick. Matter of fact, here I'm gonna pull it up right here so you guys see who I'm talking about. Barry Keoghan. The rumor around the campfire was that once again there were 2 cuts of the film. One had him, one didn't. They went ahead and put in a scene of him in the final cut.
Yeah.
But like he actually had more time. He actually had like a 3.5, almost 4-minute scene in the movie, aside from the clip we get to see of him in the movie, ultimately. And turns out he actually was playing the Joker. Now we know this now as of the release of the movie. However, the scene that they released was basically an interrogation. Well, it wasn't really an interrogation scene. It was more of it was almost kind of like a Silence of the Lambs type scene. It was almost like Clarice going into the asylum to speak with Hannibal Lecter. It was kind of like one of those scenes because basically Batman's coming in. We're not going to play the scene because honestly, it's for one kind of long, and for two, I already know what Warner Brothers is going to do. This stream will be shut the fuck down if we play this, just because I have that kind of luck, and I just don't feel like dealing with it this week. But basically, what you need to know is that the scene itself is basically Batman asking the Joker questions about the Riddler. This scene, while I honestly feel like, for me it works, the thing is there's little details in it I think most people probably kind of gloss over. For one, wow, voice crack. For one, the whole deal with Batman and Joker is that they've already met. They've already encountered one another. They have already done battle with one another. They are not like arch rivals or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but they are aware of each other's presence.
They're well versed into each other's lives.
Yes.
It seemed from the scene that was posted, it seems like this is not the first time that Batman has done this.
No. They've encountered each other before. And okay, and let's just go ahead and put this out here in the open. This version of the Joker is kind of, because we couldn't really see him clearly.
Which I did like.
Right. I thought it added an air of mystery. I could see just enough of him to tell that his face. Okay, so just to throw this out here, I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. So the look of this character, the look of Barry Keoghan as Joker, it is very reminiscent of Heath Ledger's Joker, just in the sense that he has a damaged face. But his face is even more damaged than Heath Ledger's.
He looked like dude off of the Goonies. That's what he reminded me of.
Well, here, I'm going to pull up some images here, just so you guys can. But yeah, here's one shot of this one is like, in this shot, it's actually intentionally blurred so you don't see entirely what he looks like. But then you get to a later point, you see this guy. And now this is actually a render. Someone actually went back because they don't, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the trailer, in the clip itself, you never really see the entirety of his face at any one particular point in time. You either see like his mouth or you see his nose and his eyes, so on and so forth. They kind of went for a more deformed smile. Which, like, because that's the thing about the Joker. He's supposed to have a rictus grin. It's supposed to be a very like a perpetual grin, and this one, it kind of looked like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of what I initially thought he would actually look like. I think me and you, Carter, we talked about this, was the whole, are they gonna go for a more the death of the family Joker? Not saying that his face is like ripped off or anything, but if you actually dig into Death of the Family, go back, and I always tell people, go back and read that comic. That comic is particularly interesting, just for no other reason than how Joker is portrayed. But Now, bear in mind, like I said, I feel like I have to preface this because people always take me out of context. I'm not saying that he has a ripped off face. I'm just saying the grotesqueness of his face reminds me, like the look they were going for was they didn't want to go for like look how cool he looks. No, they wanted him to be disgusting. They wanted him to be disgusting. And this is basically kind of what I was thinking about. Like I was thinking like, oh yeah, his face is gonna look. It's not something you're gonna want to stare at for long stretches of time. Like, this isn't the guy. I mean, granted, people will want to cosplay as him because that's just what cosplayers do. But this ain't going to be the one where you go like, oh, man, dude, that looks so cool. You'll probably say that, but then you'll probably walk away and be like, immediately after. But yeah, this is what it reminds me of. And the soft-spokenness of his character does, in some points, remind me of Heath Ledger's performance. But, like, he is technically, in some subtle ways, making it his own performance. It's like the whole reason Batman's like, once again, the whole reason Batman's even talking to him is because he's trying to get insight on the Riddler, because he's like, oh well, you're a serial killer, and there you go, you'll help me out on this. You'll have insight that I don't have. But all that aside, Carter, there was something that I noticed, and apparently some other people had noticed as well, about the trailer. And I don't know if you caught this. Did you notice anything missing after a certain point in the trailer, Carter?
Oh, I didn't. I was more so hoping that if we do get another... See, I always think about the next thing.
Yeah. So
when I saw this, I enjoyed what I saw. But then at the same time, the first thought that popped into my head was, okay, I thought about the Blerd cave we did when we spoke about the movie, and the one complaint I had was, oh my God, we're doing the Joker. Let's not do the Joker, okay? But when I saw this scene, I said, okay, that's how you need to do it. That's how you need to do the Joker for the subsequent films. We don't need a big bombastic movie. Just do it like this.
Yeah. Make it
That's
subtle.
enough.
Make it subtle.
Make it very, very subtle. But to answer your question, though, I don't remember anything missing. And I looked at that scene like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Because I was ready to throw it in your face that if you like that scene, and then you spoke about it earlier, that Joker was always out of focus while you drink out of your big ass orange cup.
Hey, Buc-ee's, boy. Buc-ee's.
Oh, I've been out of Memphis so long, I don't even know what the fuck that is. That sounds like one of the Chuck E. Cheese friends.
It's a this is totally an aside, but Buc-ee's is basically this like whenever you travel on the road, it's like a way station that you can go to while you're traveling. Like, it's usually because it has like gas stations, but it's also like it's basically like a little mini Walmart, but it's also like a tourist trap as well. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's also a place where motherfuckers don't wear masks, so I felt incredibly uncomfortable the entire time I was in that building. And this was before Omicron. This was back when the Delta variant was just hitting. So yeah, that tells you anything. But no, getting back to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He was out of focus. He was out of focus.
He was out of focus, and you just said, a couple minutes ago that you did like that. So, are you ready to put some respect on Zack Snyder?
No, I'm not, because okay, here's the thing. The difference between what Zack Snyder did and what Matt Reeves did is that Joker was constantly going in and out of focus every like 2 seconds. Like, it was like whoop, 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 whoop. I was like, it was jarring.
Okay, first of all, I don't remember any bubble sound effects when it happened. Okay.
Also, he didn't ask Batman for a reach around or anything like that. So yeah, get that shit out of here. Y'all need to quit. Y'all need to fucking quit. Man, get that fucking... Look, everybody's like, oh man, dude. Like, who the fuck was it that said to me the other day that Peacemaker was too edgelord I don't remember who it was, but all I'm gonna say is,
You all see how easy it is to get
Edgelord.
Ernie to start on these random ass tangents out of nowhere, like RKOs. It's funny
Hey,
as shit. You
him.
see how I do it? You see how I do it? But to answer your question, no,
Yes.
I didn't notice anything in that particular scene. What was I supposed to notice?
Okay, so remember, there's a point where Batman hands over a file to the Joker, and it's a file on all the stuff that Riddler's been up
stuff
to.
the Riddler did, yeah.
When he hands him the file, there are paper clips holding stuff in place.
Okay.
When Batman takes it back from him, those paper clips are gone.
Who the fuck noticed something like that? You got to be a real dweeb to notice some shit like that. You watch too many seasons of fucking CSI. I guarantee you that shit. Let me stop.
No. Here's the reason why it stuck out to me. I'm gonna tell you why it stuck out to me. Now, the person who found this was Hawkman's World on Twitter found this, but the thing I found interesting was I didn't notice it the way that they noticed it. I noticed it because look at how the papers on the ends are curled up. I was like, those papers were laying flat as... I almost said something problematic. I'm gonna shut up. But no, the papers were laying flat on the file when Batman gave them to him. Now you can make the argument that Joker was touching them, so maybe he bent them a little bit. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll give you that one. But then there is you look at it, it's like, oh well, wait a minute. The paper clips, they're all gone. All the paper clips are missing by the time that the scene is over, meaning that he took them, meaning he's probably going to use them in some way. I guess this was like a way of kind of foreshadowing that he will very likely probably use them to try and escape, because that's what the Joker does. Motherfuckers.
Wasn't Batman? Weren't they eye to eye the entire time?
Just about. Like Batman was staring him down. He was staring him down, but I think he did it in such a sly way that maybe Batman didn't notice, or maybe he did and he's just not saying anything. I don't know.
Maybe people are looking way too much into this shit.
No, the paper clips are clearly missing. They're actually clearly missing. It's not like the camera didn't catch him all the way. Like, no, he actually took. He didn't take all of them, but he took some of them, and the papers are very clearly changed.
Y'all play too much Arkham Asylum, man. y'all been in that detective mode a little bit too long.
Like, wait, hold it. Enhance.
Oh my goodness.
But no, now there are some people saying that and Matt Reeves hasn't really confirmed or denied this. Some people are wondering if the Arkham Asylum series that was originally was supposed to be a GCPD.
This whole be Gotham, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Gotham PD, which I'm glad they changed it because of some changes they made with the movie. But Joker, I have a sneaky suspicion, because people are like, oh, well, instead of doing Joker is the next villain of the Batman movie, why don't they just do a TV show about him? Kind of like what they did with Peacemaker. And I'm gonna say to you this. I think that the next time we see the Joker will be in that Arkham. Very likely, it might be in that Arkham HBO Max series. Of the two spinoffs we know for a fact we're getting, Arkham Asylum being one, Penguin being the other. Between the two, I think you will very likely see Barry Keoghan's Joker again as Chris Jericho.
Lawazi M, you actually made a very valid point, sir. If all of this is legitimate,
yes.
Batman was looking at Joker, not at what Joker was doing with his hand. He was trying to read Joker's reaction, but missed the sleight of hand, if there was one.
Yeah,
I feel like with as nasty as Joker's hands looked, you would know if he didn't try to sneak something.
Look, hey, honestly, I wouldn't want to look at his hands. You see, okay, when I don't have a shot of his hands, but when you looked at his fingers, it looked like he had either ripped his fingernails off or like he just had got done sticking his hands in a bunch of blood. It was hard to tell.
So you just think you got a bunch of blood just hanging around? He can put his fingers in there, Ernie?
Look, hey, it might be his blood. You never know. It might be his cellmate's blood. You never know. Well, no, he was in solid. Well, I guess not solid. I guess yeah, they were in solitary.
I mean, at the end, he looked like he was in his own personal little cell.
Yeah, they were both in solitary confinement. Which I mean, yeah, par for the course. You do such things, you should be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, it looked. Here's the thing. And I know I'm guilty. I criticize people for this all the fucking time, and I'm just as guilty of it. How many times, Carter, have I said on the show, man, I'm tired of Batman. Man, can we just get something else? And then something Batman comes out, and I'm like, all right.
I think you'll be forgiven for this because this was a good movie.
Yeah,
this was really good.
Right.
And if you were a fan of Matt Reeves and you were really hoping that Matt Reeves did something different, he did.
Yeah, he did.
You now have another movie to add to Matt Reeves' repertoire that you can go, yeah, he did this, and it was just as good as the rest of the movies that he's done. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Matt Reeves knows how to paint a villain. He knows how to paint a villain. We've seen this in the Apes movies, Koba especially. My God.
How many people are gonna hear that theme song that played several times throughout the Batman, and now they're gonna think about the Batman and not them Hitman video games? Because that was the first thing that popped into my head when I heard this song. But now, how many people are gonna correlate that song to Batman now instead of Agent 47?
I mean, honestly, it made me go back and listen to a whole Nirvana album all over again with a fresh pair of ears.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was one of those things that me and my wife were actually talking about this because I was like, because we were old enough at the time to be into Nirvana when, Nirvana, clearly, Kurt was already gone. Because I think when I started listening to Nirvana, he had literally, I think, just or had recently committed suicide.
Yeah.
But I remember me and her were talking about it, and I was like, do you remember this song being a thing? Like, people being really into this song? Because it wasn't one of their known singles. Like, off that album, Nevermind, you had, like, Heart-Shaped Box. You had Smells Like Teen Spirit, which pretty much everybody overplayed. Yeah. And there was, I believe, was it In Bloom? I think In Bloom was also on that album. But, like, those were the songs. Those were the songs people, like, knew. You really, like, Something in the Way was one of those songs that, like, you were aware was on the album because you just happened to let it play and it came on. It wasn't a song that everybody just went to, man, you hear that one song. It was never like that. And now I've gone back and I'm like, man, I didn't give this song the flowers it deserved back when it was first out. Now I'm like, dude, I love this. I forgot how much I actually, like, because I never hated the song. I just never thought it was anything special. Like, compared to the other songs. Like, one of my favorite songs off that album is Heart-Shaped Box. And if I'm gonna have to double check myself. I know that I'm trying to remember what else was on that album. Come As You Are. Come As You Are was also on that album. Let's see here. And Lithium, Poly. Yeah, there was a ton of other songs.
Yeah, long story short.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that song until this movie.
Yeah.
I'd heard of several other Nirvana songs before this movie, but I'd never heard that specific one.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. The song was damn near at the end of the album.
Okay.
The song was like, I think it was 13 tracks. Something in the Way is literally the next. Actually, no, I take that back. It is the last track. And then there's another track that's kind of hidden within that track, if I'm remembering it correctly. So yeah, it's like the last song you would listen to. Why would anybody think of that song? But but it's a good song. It's a very good song. It's actually a very haunting. It's a very haunting song. But yeah, I dug it. I thought it was cool. I like this thing. I'm actually kind of surprised that you dug this, Carter, because I remember you were one of I think that was one of the first things you said when me and you talked about. You were like, man, they really have to pull the Joker out again. So I was
Honestly,
actually shocked that you actually like this.
because I hope that's how they do him in subsequent movies.
Yeah.
If there are subsequent movies, keep him locked away.
Mm-hmm.
Have Bruce going to him for a specific. I tell you, the first thing that popped into my head when I saw that scene, that Hannibal TV show I always talk about, and then you brought up Silence of the Lambs, how Clarice went to Hannibal about the Tooth Fairy and stuff like that. Well, that's how they did it in the TV show. You have people going to Dr. Lecter, asking about how do you think this person's mind would work, this, that, and the third. I hope that's how they do him in the movie. And then have him maybe somehow, some way, have him. Well, I don't even want them to do that because I see somebody else in the chat kind of had the same idea I had. Keep him locked up the entire time, and then at the end, have him break out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See. Okay. And that's the thing.
I don't even want that to happen. Just keep him where he is right now. There are too many people in Batman's Rogues Gallery that you could
keep
use
going back to Joker.
that you have never seen before on film. So, and especially with how Matt Reeves has done the Riddler, with how Matt Reeves has done the Joker now, I'm really interested in seeing how he would do other villains in the DCEU. So,
I mean, I'm right there with you. Here's what I would do if it was me, and I'm not saying that it is. It's if it was me.
GM mode activated. Go ahead, activate that GM mode.
There you go.
What match are you booking?
Yeah. wait. I have I've got the pencil. But no. If it were me, what I would do is so we got the Batman. He's behind bars. I would do a second movie where we do a similar scene, not exactly. But maybe another scene where Joker is still locked up. Mm-hmm. He's not out of prison. And Batman goes to see him again. Or maybe not Batman. Maybe whatever villain he is up against goes to see Joker in Arkham. I wouldn't mind something like that. Maybe kind of switch it up a little bit, since we already seen the deleted scene with Batman and Joker in the same room. It's already been established that Batman and Joker are aware of one another. They've already encountered one another. Maybe have whatever villain he's up against next go see Joker to be like, hey, give me some insight on this guy. Give me some insight on this Batman. Like, case in point, Hush was very loosely teased. At least
subtle Easter eggs.
Yeah, little subtle Easter. Like, I know I know some people are probably thinking I'm talking about the obvious one where Hush comes across screen. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the guy that the reporter that Thomas Wayne tried to silence. I'm talking about that guy. I'm almost positive if they wanted to do Hush in that universe, they would tie him to that and not like some weird Hush up on the wall. I mean, they'll probably use that because that's where he gets the name from, whatever. I don't know, some stupid shit like that. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, like, let's say if they introduced Hush in the next movie, what if they had Hush come and talk to Joker? We get a scene of Hush and Joker in the same room. Even though I don't really want Hush because they look too similar. Riddler looked a lot like Hush in that movie, but it's whatever. But like by the time you get to a third movie, if you get to a third movie, I would actually say exercise restraint yet again. Keep that man behind bars. And then once you say maybe knock an entire trilogy out, because that's how Hollywood does. They do everything in trilogies. Once you knock out a trilogy, then you're working up towards the next trilogy. That's when I would introduce the Joker. Like after Batman's been through all this shit, Joker has done so much bullshit that he is just in jail. He ain't going nowhere. And then eventually he gets out and we know who our next villain's going to be. That's how I would do it if it were me. If I had the pencil. That's how I would book this. But sadly this is not WWE 2K22 and the GM mode is probably busted. As is the game itself. But yeah, here, let's see. Oh, man, we got us a super chat here from Kemet Media with a $4.99 super chat. Says, I think they shot this scene to test the Joker for future movies more than to be part of this movie. It wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. I do know that when they did test screenings, this scene was in there, and they probably did use it as a feeler to see how people would respond to it. But I think it was wiser to leave him out because... Here's the thing. You can't just put the Joker in front of people. You can't just put him in front of people and then take him away. And then bring him back again. I mean, if they would have brought him back again, it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But they probably wanted to make it seem as though Batman has yet to meet him. So they just went ahead and cut it. Kind of like we've seen stuff like this before in movies in the past where deleted scenes are taken out. Sometimes they're treated as though they're canon, and then other times not. It's kind of like Carter, do you remember the deleted scene from I believe it was either from Incredible Hulk or Avengers. I can't remember which. I think it was Incredible Hulk. There was a deleted scene, or like an alternate ending rather, where if anyone remembers the movie, it ends with Edward Norton. He's out in the jungles. He's got his own little cabin, and he's meditating. He's practicing trying to harness turning into the Hulk. And at the very end, you see him, like, he's sitting there. He's like, oh, he's very calm. He's calm as a coma. And then all of a sudden, boom, he opens his eyes. He's got a smirk on his face, and his eyes are green. And I guess I was supposed to let you know that he's figured it out. He's figured out how to turn on command without it being something where he has to struggle for it not to happen. Well, there's an alternate ending where he's out in the Arctic, I think. Like, he's out in the cold somewhere. And he takes a gun to his he takes a gun, sticks it in his mouth, and you don't see this, but it's implied. You hear the gunshot go off, but you don't hear a body hit the ground. All you hear is the Hulk's response. Like the Hulk, like, just coming out like, brrr, like, and basically kind of negating the whole act. This scene is a deleted scene, but it's referenced in Avengers. The scene where Mark Ruffalo is talking to Black Widow, and he's like, I put a gun in my mouth. I pulled the trigger,
and the other guy spit it out.
Yeah, that's that scene. So even though technically the scene was never used, it's still treated as though it's something that did happen. I can see that happening, either way with this scene, regardless of whatever the outcome is ultimately. But that said, dude, it's awesome. I'm into it. I'm digging it so far. I'm liking what I am seeing.
Honestly, like, sequel wise, like, because I know a lot of the one thing that was referenced a lot about this film was the long Halloween. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the next movie being the long Halloween proper, just to have, but now give me some rope. Rope.
Yeah, here you go.
You could do a long Halloween movie with John Goodman as Calendar Man.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm following you. I'm with you so far.
And that would be a terrible casting choice. But the only reason I bring that up is just because you could have Calendar Man, you could have Holiday, who was the main antagonist of that, and then you could also try to figure out a way to incorporate not even Two-Face. You could do more of the Elliot stuff. For whatever reason, a lot of people want Court of Owls in the next movie.
Here's the thing: Court of Owls is not something you do off rip, or even in the second. Seriously, the reason why I'm gonna tell you guys. This is the thing that I think a lot of people aren't recognizing about Court of Owls as to why it worked. Court of Owls only worked because we've been reading Batman comics for like the last 75 years. Like, it was supposed to be this thing that, like, Batman had been built up to the point that, like, he was this force of nature in Gotham. He knew everything that was going on, and then boom, something shows up that he doesn't know. And this is a Batman that's still kind of green. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal if he found out that, like, him finding out that there's a secret organization that's basically running Gotham from the shadows isn't that much of a stretch when you consider the fact that he's already found out that his dad led a life he didn't know about.
I don't feel like this Batman, this Bruce Wayne, is smart enough to put two and two together.
Not with that, no.
Well, just because if you go back and you watch that movie, it was a lot of stuff that he looked too deep into when it was actually plainly obvious.
Yes, yeah.
So with that being the case,
to be fair, some of those things were so obvious that it was like it was who would bother doing it? It was, some of it was kind of silly, the stuff that he overlooked, but
all right, Kate Tucker has to go in the hole. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
He's asking for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to be in Batman, or okay. You gotta go for that.
No. Look, okay, let me tell you something.
You gotta go for that one.
Let me tell you something. While I enjoyed the Batman Ninja Turtles crossover, don't waste my time with that shit in live action. Please don't. I've seen the animated version. I'm good. I don't need to see it in live action. Look,
we would need, the only reason you say that is because the last live action Ninja Turtles movie.
I actually didn't hate them.
Let's talk about something.
No, I didn't hate them. I'm like, okay, let's
talk about something.
Were they higher art? No, but I don't hate them the way, like, honestly, the cartoon's stupid. The old 80s cartoon is stupid. That's exactly what you got in this movie. You got more of the old cartoon, and then people tried to act like the 80s Ninja Turtles was like Shakespeare or some shit. No, it was stupid too.
What else are we talking about on today's show? I need to see what else we're talking about here.
Anyway, yeah, let's keep it pushing. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what, I got one for you.
Okay.
Let's switch gears, because this is a movie that's, or rather a property, rather, that is very likely going to be hitting sooner rather than later. For those who are unfamiliar, and this is something that's kind of been in the rumor mill, for like 5 ever. It's been like 5 ever. This shit's been in the rumor mill. So, guess who's coming to dinner? Apparently Nova.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie. Jesus Christ.
Apparently Nova is on his way to the MCU, which is something here's the thing. Nova has been on his way to the MCU, I feel like, for forever, because we did actually get confirmation from Kevin Feige and James Gunn that Nova was originally, and I don't mean the Nova Corps, I mean actual Nova, was supposed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. Nova was in the original
Nova was in Guardians of the Galaxy. They were just some hot trash.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the Nova Corps. I'm talking about like actual, like, Richard Ryder. Richard Ryder was in the movie originally.
Well, seeing how we did the Nova Corps, did you really want to see Richard Ryder in there?
Well, no. Okay, so here's the thing. I was okay with how the Nova Corps was done, because in the comics, not all of them have power like he does.
You want John C. Reilly running around here as Richard Ryder? That's what you're saying?
I mean, he was Roman Day.
I'll quit this damn Blerd cave.
I mean, no, you know that's who he was, right? That was his name. You can look at the fucking cast. His name was Roman Day. For those who don't know, Roman Day is who Richard Ryder gets the helmet from in the comics. Anyway, he got broke off, so yeah, so you don't have to worry about John C. Reilly showing up ever again. Or I don't know, maybe he made it. Maybe he survived Thanos' attack on Xandar. Who knows? Point of the matter is that he was in the original drafts of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He was actually originally going to be in the film, but they felt there were too many new characters, or too many characters introduced. He was also supposed to be in the sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but once again, because they were introducing both Ego as well as Mantis, as well as the fucking gold people whose names I've forgotten all of a sudden. Basically, it was Ayesha, whatever the fuck her name is. Anyway, point of the matter is
them gold people.
Them gold motherfuckers. The not Adam Warlocks. There you go. Not Adam Warlock. Everybody in that movie that looked like Adam Warlock but wasn't Adam Warlock. There you go. Anyway, what I'm saying is that once again, because they were introducing too many new characters, they didn't want to just shoehorn in Nova on top of that. And now the rumor around the campfire is that Nova is going to be coming into the MCU by way of either a movie or a Disney Plus series. Now, last week, you may recall, we brought up that Kevin Feige's name was recently attached to some documents that revealed that there was going to be a Marvel space project. And this very likely could be it. Maybe. Go ahead. Shoot.
Now, with us recently watching the Miss Marvel trailer,
yes,
and with you bringing up Nova,
mm-hmm.
Is it fair to assume that we are not going to be getting Richard Rider? What we're going to be getting
Sam
Alexander. And
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay.
I don't need Dick Rider in the helmet.
I disagree with that. What? No, I don't.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tell you the thing.
I'm with you. I was gonna say I disagree with you, but Thanos is dead, so we can't even get the Thanos imperative, Cancerverse, any of that because he gone. It don't matter no more. It's over with. It ain't even gonna happen. So
now that you've said that, now you know they're gonna bring Thanos back. And
I think we'll see. I think we'll see Beta Ray Bill on screen before we see Thanos back.
You might be right. I mean, okay. So here's the thing.
Okay.
So here's how I would do it. Once again, if it was me doing the booking,
okay,
I would have both of them in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would treat it the way that Ant-Man was treated. I would treat it as though, or even Hawkeye, the Hawkeye Disney Plus series, how it treated it. I would have Richard Rider out there, but he would be acting in more of a mentor role. He would still have the Nova helmet. He would still have the powers and stuff. But Sam...
You asked him for the nasty comments. What? Because you know people that you will not... Let me you know, a lot of older comic fans are gonna they would rather see Richard Rider in that role, and then once he too old or he retires,
we ain't waiting on that.
Yeah, no. And I feel you.
I know what
that's
you're saying,
why. That's why you saying Hawkeye.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying, just in the
terms
terms
Richard Rider to be the old timer. That's where it's really gonna be revolving around the board, man.
Hey, it's Sam's
you
time.
You all comment on this. You talk to him. Yeah. You tag him. Put my name in it.
I mean, I've been very vocal about this though. This isn't like a new concept that I've thrown out there. I've said this on multiple occasions in the past that if you're going to have Nova, I think Sam Alexander's the better way to go. I mean, because here's the thing. Most of the stuff that Nova could do that would be interesting has already been done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, you know what? I tell you what. If you want to do like a Nihilus, yeah, that would be cool. And have, the whole like Annihilation deal. Like that would
be cool. With Sam Alexander?
No, I'm talking about if you wanted to have Richard Rider. If you want to have Dick Rider, which, by the way, that's what I almost always call him, is Dick Rider, because Richard's just it's a weird nickname for something like Richard. They don't even match. But anyways, Dick Rider is, while he's a cool character and I love him to death, I'm reading the tea leaves here, looking at what's coming. And we have so many young characters that are being brought in. And Kevin Feige has not been shy about the fact that they're bringing in younger characters because they're trying to keep these franchises going. I mean, yeah, you can have both of them around. It's not going to kill anything. I mean, hell, in Ant-Man, you still have, though Hank Pym isn't acting as Ant-Man, he's just Hank Pym. He's no longer Ant-Man, but you know that he used to be. It's in canon in the MCU that he used to be Ant-Man. But Scott Lang is the guy, and we know that Cassie, she's already in. Hell, they've had 3 different people play this damn woman. They got the little girl, and then they had the one chick from the show about suicide on Netflix, brought her ass in, and then now they done already shoot her out.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, what the hell, word?
No,
Suicide? What?
I might be misremembering. I think the girl they had playing her in Endgame was the girl from 13 Reasons Why or something like that.
You watched that show?
No, I didn't watch it. No. People told me about it. I didn't watch it.
I
don't like being depressed on purpose. Okay,
but here's what I'll tell you: Hank Pym does not help your argument because Hank Pym would not be Ant-Man because of the same reason that you and I both know they would never put Hank Pym in the starring role. Because, bam, right in the kisser. They would never put Hank Pym in the star role. That does not help your argument.
Well, no, but I'm just saying. Richard Rider ain't beat the fuck out of nobody, so he's good. Hell, we had a whole ass Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU who apparently behind closed doors was beating his wife's ass. So, yes, I'm sorry, allegedly.
I literally didn't know that stuff until you brought it up, and I did a Google search. I didn't know about any of that.
It was the top thing. It was like William Hurt, or former wife of William Hurt, reveals story about how he used to beat the brakes off her on the regular. It's like, okay, all right, well. And I was like, dude, this man's body ain't even cold yet. I was like, this dude ain't even in the ground. And we are already putting him on blast.
But please, Sam Alexander, please.
Yeah, Sam Alexander. Yeah. Sam Alexander. I'm into it. Is his personality the same as Dick Ryder's? No, it's not.
You gotta stop saying it.
Hey, don't name him Richard then. Stop. Look, here's the thing. So anytime I see a character named Richard, I'm sorry. Hell, Dick Grayson.
I have never. Okay.
Dick Grayson. Okay. Wait. Let me guess. You called him Richard. You called
him
Richard Grayson. No.
I have never heard you make jokes about Dick Grayson.
Well, no, I don't have to because his name's already Dick. And every time Batman calls him Dick, I giggle. I giggle a little bit every time he calls him Dick. I can't help it. I'm an 8-year-old. I'm sorry. I'm an 8-year-old that just discovered naughty words. But anyway. That said, we know that, and Maverick, and thank you for that, because Glenn actually just kind of hit the nail on the head here. So, remember Eternals?
Mm-hmm.
So won't they just bring Thanos back like the Eternals will bring back Icarus? Here's the thing. Thanos is technically an Eternal. And they're probably, because of the way the rules in the comics about Eternals have been so clearly established, they actually have more room to play with it in the MCU. And they've already kind of proven they've changed some things about it. But there are going to be some things that I think are going to be a little different. Once again, pointing out that Thanos is an anomaly in the comics as an Eternal because both of his parents are Eternals. Eternals are not supposed to be able to have children who are also Eternals. They can have regular ass kids, but they cannot have eternal children.
Do you think they would go back to that well though? Since with Avengers in 10 years, and then we finally get to Endgame and it's Thanos, and Thanos finally gets put down. Do you think they would actually go to that well again by bringing him back?
They kind of already proven that they will because they introduced Eros.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that's what Eros was was putting them was trying to get the guys back together for. But if you go back and think about it, like, what was the first thing that they say about him? One of the first titles they drop is that he's the brother of the Mad Titan Thanos.
Here, you want to hear a nasty idea I just got in my head?
What's up?
And I think some of you all will know who I'm talking about. I think Ernie just gonna be like ill and laugh his ass off, and he's gonna make me just go to the next story. What if we don't get? I don't think we'll get Thanos back. What if we get Thane?
Wait, not Inhuman Thing? You can't think of it. Remember, because Thane's an Inhuman.
Sure as shit is.
Yeah, he's an Inhuman.
Dude, I haven't thought about. I've read Infinity one time and kept it moving. I completely forgot about that.
Look here.
I read Infinity one time and was mad that I had to keep buying Avengers to know what was going on. There's only one good moment in that. Let me explain something, y'all. There's only one good moment in Infinity, and that's when Thor calls the hammer and it goes through a motherfucker to come to him. That is literally the coolest part of that whole book. Everything else in Infinity is some hot trash. Spoiler alert. Thanos gets carbonated. Thanos gets carbonated. I don't want to hear that shit.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
You're a savage creature, John Spartan.
But the funny thing is the scene that he's talking about, the scene where Thor summons the hammer through somebody, like literally blows somebody's back out, pulling the hammer.
That is the dopest part of that whole.
That is actually one of my favorite scenes. That is actually one of my favorite scenes from this. But the funny thing about it is, I actually thought it was even more impressive that when he did it, he threw the hammer away. Like the Kree were basically like, yeah, you can't bring that with you. And he basically just flung that motherfucker. He's like, all right, cool, it's gone. And that motherfucker flew across the fucking galaxy and went around. I think it went around the sun and then came back. And he called that, like, I'm talking about like at just the right time. That motherfucker came back and literally deleted somebody. I'm talking about like, sent at least, I think he sent at least 2 or 3 dudes to the gulag just with the just on the strength of the hammer coming back to him. But that said, let's bring this one up we got right here. Command Media with the $9.99 super chat. Here, I'm actually sitting right there because I feel like trying to squeeze that back in right now.
That's what she
said. Anyway, we know some people that have said that. There's been a lot of talk from Matt Reeves about Mr. Freeze. Do superpowered villains fit in this version of the Batman? Is there a grounded way to do Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy or Clayface? Okay, so Matt Reeves, he has said that he does want to do villains like Mr. Freeze, but he wants to ground them in reality. You could do Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze would be easier than some of the others. Because Mr. Freeze is someone who, while he is one of the more superpowered of Batman's villains, he's not the most superpowered of his villains. You could literally just make him a dude who you could make him I mean, honestly, even though I don't like the idea of making Mr. Freeze a serial killer, you could make him a guy whose whole MO, like, it kind of seems that's the way they're wanting to go, is serial killers. Yeah. It's a term that comes up more than once in the Batman, and in that deleted scene. But you could just make him a guy whose his whole MO is freezing people. And you could, I mean, that's just it.
There's an easier way to do that too.
That's the tweet.
So all right, so here you go. I guess this is where me watching Dexter actually came in the clutch. You could do Mr. Freeze or somebody who he maybe works in maybe he's a butcher or something along those lines, and you have to hang the meat in those cold trucks in the back. Mr. Freeze.
There you go.
He kills them and puts them on the meat hooks, and they're getting refrigerated or frozen in the meat truck. Boom.
I would even say he comes up with intricate ways to freeze people as well. Like, he finds ways to like do it to kind of like how the Riddler was killing people in very different ways. I feel like if you did Mr. Freeze that way, he would have to do something similar. He'd have to do something at least somewhat similar. Like he'd have to up the ante with each kill, or at least do something different. More or less. Yeah. Let's see, we got one from Gokon Shuri's baby's father with the $5 super chat. Says, some storylines take more time than one movie. Looking at the Dark Phoenix. Yes, you are telling the truth. I've actually talked to Chris Claremont about that. He has said it himself. I think that was one when I asked him about the Dark Phoenix, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, I don't know why they try and do this in one movie. Why do you try? Do y'all remember how long the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga took in the X-Men animated series? Y'all remember how long that shit was? That was damn near a whole season. That was a whole season. And I'm not saying, like, it was not all the way. It was like a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and then a little bit at the end. Like, they would have little other stuff going on in between that. But still, the Dark Phoenix and the Phoenix Saga, those were stories, even in the comics, that spanned over the course of more than just, like, 2.5 hours. Like, I don't even think you can read the Dark Phoenix and the Phoenix Saga in the comics in 2.5 hours. Let alone should it be adapted into one movie. If you wanted to read, and I'm not saying just the core titles, about like everything that was connected to it, the entire publication run at that time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. I don't like that they do that. If you want to, like, loosely adapt something, like, if you want to take elements from something and then put it into a movie, cool, but be very selective about what it is that you do. Don't just take every little freaking thing that you see and try and shove it in the movie like this is Resident Evil. Remember Resident Evil used to do that shit? They never, like, ever adapted any actual part of Resident Evil, like from a plot perspective. They would just take whatever looked cool. Like, what was it? I think was it Resident Evil Extinction, the third movie, where this shit ain't have nothing to do with Las Plagas in the slightest. Yet we had one of them big ass axe dudes for Resident Evil 5 just show up for no reason. Dude just showed up literally because they wanted to have a set piece, because the director, he saw that character in the games and said, I want him for the movie. Doesn't have shit to do with what they're doing. At all. Not even a little bit. And spoilers for if you never saw Resident Evil Extinction. God help you. You probably are better for it. CT Cook. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, Kemet basically hit the nail on the head, putting people on ice as a serial killer. That's why I brought up Dexter, because that first season of Dexter, you had the ice truck killer. You could very easily do that for Mr. Freeze.
The Flash. And I'm not talking about the CW Flash. I'm talking about the original Flash with John Wesley Shipp from back in the late 80s. Or was it early 90s? I don't remember. Anyway, point of the matter was, the original Flash TV show, that's how they did Captain Cold. Okay. He was a dude. That was his thing. He wasn't like Leonard Snart like we see in the TV show or the comics where he's got the cold gun. He was damn near what you're talking about. To one degree or another. CT Cooper.
You're an asshole. Did you mean to do that? What? 1 degree?
Yeah.
Because cold.
I own my puns. Thank you very much. Anyway, CT Cook with the $5 super chat says, what rogues do you think would work good for HBO Max shows? I'm really hoping they use HBO to build out the universe. Well, I would say you'd have to do some of the lesser known ones, I think. Carter brought up Calendar Man earlier. Yeah. I think you would also want to bring in individuals like, I don't know, Mr. Zaz, the Clock King. You want to get some of those more ridiculous characters in there to kind of put a little edge on them. We've already seen the Penguin. We've seen Carmine Falcone, or Carmine Falcone, as they call him in this one. And we know...
that would be a fucked up movie.
What?
If they did Zaz.
Oh, yeah, no, it would be...
that'd be a fuck up.
Yeah. I would like to see Scarecrow, even though technically we saw him in the Nolan movies. I didn't like him very much in the Nolan movies. I mean, I liked him, but I wasn't like... He wasn't my favorite thing. Like, he wasn't my favorite thing. And I actually really liked the character of Scarecrow. Yeah. But I liked him. I feel like do him the way he was in Arkham Knight. Or like how he's been done more recently in the Batman comics, where he's more, I guess the idea is for him to not look stupid. Because that was actually one of the things I liked about the Arkham games as a whole, is that they kind of slick gave you a Freddy Krueger game. Because remember how he had the glove with the syringes on his fingers? It was reminiscent of like the butter knives on Freddy's glove. I was waiting for him to start dancing around behind Batman when he couldn't hear him. We also got one from the Elite X1 with a $5 super chat. Says on ArtStation site, David Paget has done Poison Ivy and Clayface designs that would fit well in the Batman sequel if it went for a more horror mystery route. Let me see. I actually want to see if I can pull those up. Let's see if we can pull those up. I want to see if I can pull those up.
I gotta stop bringing up Court of Owls. If you all want to see Court of Owls, there's an animated film for y'all to watch.
That is true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It was so bad.
I did. Wait. I didn't see that one. I don't think.
Ooh.
I think that's what I missed.
Good.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, look, now you finna hop on HBO Max looking for that motherfucker right after the show ends.
Look, we're all the better for it. I don't see here. Let me see here. I'm looking to see if I can find. This is actually okay. You know what? I'm gonna pull this up. I'm actually gonna pull this up. Let me see if I can get to. Now, some of these designs you could tell had Batfleck in mind. You can look at some of them and tell. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, here we go. Nope, not that one. So here's one he's got of Hugo Strange,
which someone said you look like. Someone's made that comment earlier. I just didn't say anything about it.
I mean, hey, I'll take it. Hey,
you look like Hugo Strange with the Dr. Umar beard. That's what they said. That's what you got going on right now.
Look, y'all gonna make me start putting my dashikis on. You know what? Carter, I got it.
Nope.
I got it. That's how they do Dr. Hugo Strange. Can we make Dr. Hugo Strange a black man? And y'all can actually, and I'd be okay with this. I don't usually like stunt casting, but you can actually go ahead and hire Dr. Umar. He needs the money. Get him in there, and let him put hands on Robert Pattinson.
60,000 plus of y'all subscribe to this, man.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But no, he looks. This looks cool. This actually looks cool. Let's see here. This is a Poison Ivy pre-infection.
Okay.
I guess they're doing it in such a way that I guess like rather than just her having the I mean, yes, technically they're treating almost more like as an infection as rather as an accident that happened to her. In this iteration, and then they got her right here, which I don't want to linger on that one for too long because Lord knows YouTube be like, he's showing titties on stream.
Dr. Umar Strange, you are nasty, Kenneth. You are so nasty. You get a nasty award on the Blerd Cave today, bro.
I like some of these. I like the Ivy layer right here, where it's like you can see all the bones of the people she's killed. No, you know what you know what? Here's how you do it. I like this. This actually got my gears turning. Treat it as though it's like The Last of Us, only minus the zombies, minus the plant zombies. Basically, she just like the stuff that she does, it actually like is, while like to a degree maybe she can control it to where like it doesn't just outright kill people, but eventually over time it just kills people. Like just fungus and plant life starts growing. Dude, I like this idea. It's actually pretty neat. I dig it. And he has it in the red. That's one thing I'll say about that movie. God damn, the Batman was a red ass fucking movie. In a lot of parts.
I liked it though.
No, I liked it too. Just like,
I liked it.
That motherfucker was red as fuck. I was like, bruh.
So whoop.
Oh, wow. That's Bloodshot. That is not what we came here to see. That actually don't look any different than the Bloodshot we actually got.
Don't be mad because Batman's blood not here, dog. Sue. That's why you say y'all call yourself Batman. You see what I'm saying?
Wait, was it? Now you got me thinking about that damn song I used to always hear about drive-bys. I'm trying to see if I can remember.
You gonna have to be more specific than that, my guy. That song about drive-by. That's literally every song of the mid-90s.
No, there was a song. There was a song that I heard not that long ago.
I want the next Batman movie, as soon as the trailer starts, play that game song, One Blood, off rip. I just want to hear One Blood by Batman beating bricks on people.
This was I'm trying to remember. What the name of the song was. I have to this is something I'll actually have to look up. But I remember I heard the song. I was like, this is like the most this is the most blood, most motherfucking swoop song I ever heard in my life. It actually it threw me for a loop. I wasn't prepared for it. Let me see if I actually find that shit. That's what it was. It was it's a song called 1993 by Big Y and Red Rum. I'm not making this up. But it's interesting. It's an interesting song. And yeah. Wait, did you look it up?
I just read from Mailman saying Batman bumping YG in the Batmobile. I would walk out of the theater.
Wait, so wait, maybe you know what? That would explain why Batman and Superman don't get along. Because Batman's out here repping the red. Superman's out here crip walking. Can you imagine Superman crip walking?
This is Too Fast, Too Furious all over again with Paul Walker saying "cuz" all the fucking time throughout the fucking movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I didn't like that either. Anyway, I feel like we got so way off base. Anyway, here, let's see. Let me go back a little bit because I want to make sure we get this one too because we got another one here. Ibrahim Robinson with the $5 super chat says it doesn't need to be cold. Could he just use an agent to paralyze someone? I mean, he could do that too, but I want him to freeze people. I don't know if anyone remembers this kill in Saw 3, even though I don't think Saw 3 is the best movie ever. The part where
what happened in 3?
That was the one where he kidnapped the man who was trying to get his daughter back. And he also kidnapped the woman.
Shotgun necklace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, with the benefit of hindsight, I like Saw 3 better than most Saw movies.
It's better than Saw 2.
I like Saw 2 a lot, actually. Actually, Saw 2 is one of my favorite ones. But I
Saw
will
2
say
was with the one in the house, right?
That was one in the house. That was one in the house with all the people.
Yeah, because the white girl on 7th Heaven was on there.
Yes. When people tell me they don't like Saw 2, I understand why, because it was originally Saw 2 was not a Saw movie. It was actually a different movie altogether. And the producers who got a hold of the script just decided to make it Saw 2.
No shit.
Yeah, so that's why there's a disconnect. But I actually like that disconnect. I think it actually freshened everything up. But then 3 came. 3 wasn't bad, but because honestly, when you get the one that I don't like is 5. 5 is one I actually egregiously do not like, and I'm not the hugest fan of 4 because that black man is one of the dumbest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. That dude just runs into shit and gets people killed. He does shit that no self-respecting black person would ever do in life. And it's stupid to me. But anyway, in here and there.
Wait. Was that the one where the Wahlberg got bongo with the Ice Cube?
Yeah, because he was like, no, I'm going to save you. I'm going to bust door. And everybody's like, don't do it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. Boom. And he busts open and all of a sudden the icebergs come down. Bop. But no, the third movie is where actually that would be a cool kill for Mr. Freeze to do. That would be another ice related kill you could do. But no, the one in Saw 3 is one where he has the girl butt naked chained up to the pipes. And matter of fact, Carter, you may or may not have ever noticed this. That scene is
That's
in
the
the
stage
game.
in Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I
that's
remember
the
that.
scene
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game where you go in the room and you see the girl like chained up and she's
Yeah, yeah.
frozen. That's from Saw 3. Like you could do something like that because honestly, I know Saw 3's torture devices and traps and stuff weren't the most bombastic ones that I think people were kind of expecting, but there were some cool ones in there. If you really like sit down and think about it, would be fucked up to experience for yourself. At least in my opinion. But yeah, you could do something like that. I think that would be a very interesting route to go. Extra, thank you for the 20 months, my guy. Says get them likes up. Thank you. Please and thank you. We got 179 people here. We got 93 likes, man. Can we get at least to 150? Please and thank you. So what's the next thing? Let's keep it moving. Morbius. Carter.
Yes.
A couple of new pieces of news have come out about Morbius. So, one of those...
That was a hard breath you just took. Uh-oh.
Okay, so for those who don't know, the early reviews for the movie have come out. Or not even reviews, actually. It's mostly people reacting to it.
Okay.
And I don't know how genuine some of them are because I remember this type of behavior happening with other movies.
Well, you have to remember, they're never genuine because you haven't experienced it.
Exactly. Thank you. And also, a lot of times people hate shit that I'm perfectly okay with, and I know that makes me a weirdo. That's okay. That's fine. I just don't hate things the way some people do. Now, when I hate something, I fucking hate it. So that ought to tell you something. If I don't like something, that should tell you something. Because I'm pretty lenient for the most part. I'm willing to let some shit slide. Just because I'm like, it's kind of like the whole thing. Me and my wife get into this all the time when we watch horror movies or any movie in general. Where like she'll be like, well, why would they do that? And then like my response is almost always, well, if they didn't do that, then the movie would only be 15 minutes long. I mean, yeah, like I know sometimes you want to insert logic and you want to insert human logic into something, but a lot of times you kind of there are some moments where shit is just fucking stupid. It don't make no goddamn sense. But a lot of times, like when people used to do what was the old trope? Well, why'd they have to go in the house? It's like, well, it's because if they didn't go in the house, then there would be no movie, and I would have just wasted $8. So yes, I want them to go in the house. But no, the director of Morbius, Daniel Espinosa, has recently come out and revealed a couple of things. One of them being that the Vulture that we see in the Morbius trailers, played by Michael Keaton as he was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, so it's confirmed that he is the Vulture in that movie.
He is the Vulture, and he is not a variant of the Vulture. He is, in fact, the legit Vulture that we have seen in Spider-Man Homecoming.
I can't remember who that was that said that. They said that was not the case. He was a completely different character. This was just Sony trying to kind of get in as much as they could in the Spidey movies. I feel like you may have said something along those lines.
I think we talked about it before. But once again, a recent interview from Daniel Espinosa, he did actually come out and say that at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Spider-Man No Way Home, and in No Way Home itself, he says it is clearly established that it is possible for characters to transfer from one multiverse to another. The events of No Way Home had the effect of transferring Venom and Vulture, and maybe others, back and forth between the MCU and the Venom universe. Now, that said, well, I mean, because think about it. Here's the thing here's the thing to think about. So it stands to reason, and I'm giving a lot of leeway here on this. So just kind of Carter, I'm gonna need you to go with me. I don't
want to go. I don't want to go. I don't even want to put my shoes on.
What was that Puff Daddy song? What was it? Walk with me or come with me? What is it? I need you to do that. I need you to do the Puff Daddy. I need you to do that. That's what I need from you, Carter. That's what I need from you. Please. please. Carter said no. Oh, goddamn. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Well, on that note, for those who don't know, so yeah, Michael Keaton, his character from Spider-Man Homecoming will be in Morbius. And the funny thing about it is that the reason, what they're kind of implying is that since Venom and all these other characters, the whole idea was that anyone who knew Spider-Man's identity from across the multiverse got transferred to that universe because of a flub up in the spell that was, well, I mean, it was Doctor Strange's fault, but Peter was also to blame as well because he was being annoying while Doctor Strange was trying to cast a spell. That's honestly, Doctor Strange made the same face that I usually make when people talk during movies. I was just like, oh God, please stop. But anyway, what they were talking about is that, yeah, people can transfer between universes. So if that spell affected people who knew who Spider-Man was, well, Vulture knows who Spider-Man is. He's already there, so what effect would it have on him? Is kind of the idea that I'm going with. I mean, once again, I may be giving the writers too much fucking credit. It's kind of like how y'all remember when
what would be funny is if that was a good idea, that was a legitimate way for them to do it, but they don't think it.
Well, okay, so remember Avengers Endgame. Remember there's a scene where they're talking about earthquakes off the coast of Wakanda? And everybody was like, ooh, that's got to be Namor. And then one of the writers for Endgame was like, I wish we were that smart. So once again, we don't know. I'm like I said, I'm probably giving the writers and the director too much credit, but that's just how my mind works. I like when I watch a movie and I see something weird happen, my brain has a process, and it's a very split-second process. It's not like I have to sit here and really think about this. No, my brain does this really quick thing that only takes like less than a millisecond, where like my brain will kind of go, well, this is this and that is that, so I guess, technically this could be a thing if it really wanted to be, and then I guess at that point I make a decision whether or not to go with it or criticize it and not go with it. And it's that quick for me. For some people, it ain't that quick. There's some people I see that, like, I can see, like, you know how, like, when you click on something in Windows and you can just see I don't even know if they even do this anymore, because I have a lot of RAM on my computer. But I'm in the 100 plus gigabytes of RAM club. Sorry. But you used to get that little hourglass, and if it sat there too long, it would start spinning.
No, Ernie, they do not do that old ass hourglass anymore. Do you open up Microsoft Word and expect to see that paperclip winking at you?
I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, and I have concerns. I figured it was a witness protection. Anyway, my point matters. I guess wait. Windows, they do the little circle. The little ring that kind of like spins around. I can see that on people sometimes when I see them trying to figure out shit. I'm like, it's like, this is like, yeah, like sometimes you're trying to like download something. It's like, this is taking longer than usual. But no, sometimes I see that on people. Just saying. But for me, it's quick. It's a quick process. I go boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. I've moved on. But that's not the only thing that's come out from Daniel Espinosa. The fact that characters can switch and swap back and forth between multiverses. And this is kind of why I think one of the things I heard, and maybe this is why it might be true, one of the reviews that I've seen, it said something along the lines of there was a post-credit and a mid-credit scene, and they said that like one of them will induce the biggest eye roll you've probably ever had in your life, and they said another one was completely fucking stupid. But that said, I don't know the person who said it. I don't even know if they're actually like a comic book person. A lot of times when they do these things where they show like people like giving their first impressions of stuff about like of this nature, it's usually just regular people who don't read comics. So I don't know whether to take what they said seriously or not. And I'm not going to, because I'd rather see it for myself, which I am going to go see it for my fucking self. Because I'm an adult who makes adult decisions without needing the input of others.
Those are the same people that say that comic books are for kids and they are grown and they pay bills and they would never read a fucking comic book that's for a child.
Yes.
But have religiously watched every fucking season of Walking Dead.
Yes, you are correct. Well, and also, you know, you know what? You know the conversation I like? You know the conversation I like, Carter? Comics are stupid. Meanwhile, wall full of manga and anime and shit. It's like, okay. All right. So y'all like them little cartoons where they be sexualizing underage girls. Cool.
Well, I ain't talking about that.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I like the people that are quick to dog comics, or I don't want to have to read a comic to do.
But you watching reality shows. You watching.
But you watched every fucking Marvel movie.
But you watching 13 seasons of The Bachelor straight and they ask no questions. You think it's real. You think it's real. I don't know. I just have to laugh at shit. Like it's a thing. It's a thing. There are people out there who love certain things and they don't understand why other people like something that they don't like. Even though, like, I remember, okay, so this used to be a conversation in my household. My wife loves Doctor Who. Not the hugest fan of Super Sentai or Kamen Rider. I mean, she'll watch it, but she always makes little jabs at it when I'm watching it. I do the same to her with Doctor Who. Because one day I actually put it in perspective for her. I was like, you know, if you really think about it, Doctor Who and, you know, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai aren't that different. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, they each fight a monster of the week. They both have low-ass fucking budgets. And usually end up resulting in someone being in a rubber costume that looks kind of dumb. And then when she thought about it that way, she was like, oh, yeah, they are kind of the same. Now, while one is people doing like martial arts and kicking and shit, the other one's people just being smart. But the thing is, at the end of the day, not that different. Also, they're both legacy shows where one season you could have one cast of characters and another season you may or may not have a completely different cast of characters. But yeah, anyway, all that aside, that wasn't the only bit of news that came out about Morbius. Also, they revealed that we will be getting to see who is actually Spider-Man in the Venom universe. Because as we know, Venom is not in the same universe as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Apparently, there is an actual Spider-Man in the Venom universe. Apparently. And it was asked, this was during an interview I think that Daniel Espinosa did with Cinema Blend, where basically they asked him, what universe does Morbius take place in?
Why would you do all of this shit in the movie not even out yet?
It comes out in like a few days.
I know, but why tell a lot of this shit as opposed to letting people?
Well, let me do a little further reading, Carter. You might have a different opinion when I'm done. But basically they say, what universe does Morbius take place in? And his response is, Morbius lives in the same universe as Venom. This is the universe we saw Venom exit at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage and return to at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. And then they ask him, is there a Spider-Man in Venom's universe? This is a simple follow-up question. Yes. And Daniel Espinosa says, of course. And then they ask, okay, so which Spider-Man exists in Venom's universe? And the response is, it is my understanding that the audiences will discover the answer soon. Who knows? But that kind of likely implies that maybe we will get an answer to that in Morbius, because that was the thing I think a lot of people forgot about with Morbius. Do you remember the first trailer we got for it? And there was the Spider-Man
posters and stuff.
Yeah. Notice how it didn't look like Tom. It didn't look like Tom Holland's Spider-Man at the time. Now, granted, he's changed his costume.
I do not remember. Yeah. I do not remember that.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I got it right here.
I'm looking it up just like you are.
Okay, so here it is. I actually have the image up right here. Now the funny thing about it is, it makes me wonder what it is they're accusing him of, because there's a picture of Spider-Man. It looks eerily like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Or maybe, depending on if you, because technically his costume changed a little bit in the second movie, maybe the Amazing Spider-Man, who knows. It's hard to tell with the image, it's kind of blurry. But they have murderer graffitied over him. Now, remember that Tom Holland just recently had to deal with a bout of being considered a murderer because of Mysterio. Well, as it turns out, it's not Tom Holland. Tom Holland is not his Spider-Man. But it stands to reason, especially with everything going on with No Way Home, it's very likely either going to be Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. Now, considering that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man they kind of imply that he isn't Spider-Man much anymore. Like, he doesn't really do the Spidey thing all the time, at least, not as much as he used to. And then, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, they kind of imply that, he went down a dark path. Part of me wonders, because people are, there's all these people clamoring to get more Andrew Garfield. I wonder if this would be a way for someone to do that without actually giving an actual, Amazing Spider-Man 3. You get where I'm coming from?
I can't remember where I heard this, but when all the No Way Home stuff came out, Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man and interviews and what have you, somebody brought up the Amazing Spider-Man 2 about the Gwen Stacy death scene, and they made a comment about how after that scene, because the reason that scene happened was because Spider-Man was fighting the Green Goblin of that universe.
Right.
And like I said, I do apologize. I cannot remember where I heard this from, but they basically said if you pay attention, you realize you don't see Green Goblin anymore. Huh. So, and I think there were some interviews where basically people were surmising, and now they're bringing it back up, so you could probably find it yourself, just Google search stuff. They were basically just surmising that when Andrew Garfield brought up that he stopped pulling his punches and what have you, that right after the Gwen Stacy scene, he basically just went up there and killed Harry Osborn.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna poo-poo on that theory. Okay. I feel like those are people who haven't watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 recently. Okay. Because I have. And Harry is very much alive at the end of the movie.
Okay.
Because he's in jail. He's a Ravencroft. He's actually locked up in a cell at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Which, I mean, it would be a cool theory. It'd be a cool theory if not for that one scene. This is what I always tell people. When folks always try and get on me for why I think a certain way about something, the reason why I usually have the opinions I have about something is because it's something I've recently gone back and looked at. A lot of people be coming at my throat for having an opinion about something I recently watched that they haven't seen in years. but no, like I said, it would be a cool theory though if the other thing wasn't true. Because they were very much trying to set up a Sinister Six. Because matter of fact, that was the whole point of the Dane DeHaan's last scene in that movie was him basically saying, "Yeah, I got some people in mind." Because that was supposed to be the lead into the Sinister Six. Them getting all the stuff and then giving it to the other people so they could put a group together to take out Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But no, that said, I'm into it. I'm into the idea of it. It's fine. It's whatever. If it ends up being Andrew Garfield, cool. If it ends up being Tobey Maguire, cool. I would rather it be, which I mean, I guess with the way things are established, I'd rather be Tom Holland, but that's not the case. And at least this way, especially considering the way people have reacted to Andrew Garfield in recent months since No Way Home. Make it him and be done with it. So, Sony is aware that everyone wants Andrew Garfield. They literally responded to it on their official Twitter account, but they had to also remind people that this is just the social media account. We don't make these decisions.
I don't even, and to be completely honest, I don't even think we're going to see anything pertaining to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
at any point. Just because I get to use that word that I like to use a lot. People being fickle. Because
yeah,
everybody was hype about Andrew Garfield, this, that, and third, but these are a bunch of motherfuckers we have never heard anything from up until No Way Home. And I don't really feel like Sony, Disney, whoever is going to put millions up. Millions. Because this is Spider-Man we're talking about. So they got to throw the whole budget at it. I highly doubt they're going to throw millions because all of a sudden people want another Amazing Spider-Man, when the census was, when those two films came out, that they were trying to rip off Nolan movies, and that Jamie Foxx got his gap fixed with electricity. And I know we can make those jokes about electric eels and Andrew. The only thing that people actually lay claim to was the fact that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was great. He was a great Spider-Man. Great Spider-Man. Peter Parker, completely different. But like I said, people are too fickle.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not going to call names, but some of my YouTube peers, channels that are bigger than myself, who I've been on live streams with, literally shit all over me. Because I won't say shit all over me, but they basically told me that they told me in the nicest ways humanly possible to get the fuck out of here. We disagree.
Ernie won't let me mention those people because he still has relationships for several of them. Because I want to call several other comic book YouTubers fucking stupid, but he won't let me name.
Nah, don't do it. I mean, they I think they know now. But some of them have walked back their statements. Because see, all right, so when I made my statements that when people, because we were talking about who was our favorite Spider-Man, and you know, a lot of people were saying like, oh, Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland. I actually said I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man because he felt more like Spider-Man to me than the other two. Yeah, he cracked jokes. He was, he was kind of harsh towards the people he went against, and he had difficulty, keeping up with his Spidey life and his Peter Parker life. And yeah, while his Peter Parker wasn't the best, I still liked him a lot, even though I just said he had the misfortune of being in movies that weren't as good as the other Spider-Man movies.
The reason you have that opinion is because you do what a lot of other people do not do. You have learned how to take the legacy cap off.
Yes.
You can take that legacy cap off, and you can you can actually legitimately think about certain things. A lot of people who are going to say Tobey Maguire, you still have that legacy cap on. You still remember going to see that movie in theaters, day one, in line with Spider-Man shirt on. That's the problem with a lot of people, whether it be movies, music, anything. You got to take your legacy cap off for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, so no, that's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, and now, with the benefit of hindsight, those same people, because when I said this, I think this happened like a week to 2 weeks before No Way Home came out. And then after No Way Home came out, I've seen some of them walk back those statements. Oh, man, Andrew Garfield. Oh, Andrew Garfield. Oh, Andrew Garfield. Oh, but I was the crazy motherfucker. Y'all made me look like the idiot for liking Andrew Garfield. Okay, cool. Now look at you. Now y'all over here dick riding Andrew Garfield like y'all were there the whole time, and I know you weren't. And I'm about to say, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just, I'm just pointing out facts that, there are people out there who literally shit on me for liking Andrew Garfield. And now some of those same people are on Twitter and on YouTube and Instagram and wherever the fuck else they go, TikTok and this, that, and the other, and trying to act like they were always into the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Is what it is. Like I said, man, you gotta be honest with yourself. But anyway, let's see here. We got Gokhan Shuri's baby father with $5 super chat says Superman throw them Cripsy up off flying. Passed him in the bat jet. Dude, could you imagine that shit? I actually want somebody. Can somebody make that a thing? Like, can we get somebody on Fiverr to like draw that up?
Please don't.
Please don't. Superman just fly by. I'm not throwing them up. I don't want to get shot. B Black with the 199 super chat says, surprisingly, only 3 Batman movies grounded. Talk about the Nolan ones. Well, the thing is with the Nolan movies, they're grounded, very grounded, mind you. However, they're too grounded. Too grounded, in my opinion. Like they almost try to act as if superheroes could never ever possibly be real in the sense that we know superheroes today. Like the Nolan movies are literally if Batman existed and it was a real world and there wasn't super fantastical things going on, except for that fucking leg brace that Batman wears in The Dark Knight Rises magically makes his ass fucking be able to walk without a limp. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, there you go. LJ Brown with the £5 says, Ernie, I can't forgive you for putting that Puffy Godzilla song in my head. It's just like the time you reminded me of Peter and Paula Abdul. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Cause I'm dressed like a cat. Oh goddamn. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man.
Mm-hmm.
Carter.
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking we could drop a couple of these stories.
Okay.
Let's get into our recommended. Oh, what you got? What you got?
I tell you something. I saw a YouTube clip of, and I can't get jiggy with it. But apparently, the episode was fine.
Okay.
I saw a clip of Donald Faison's Booster Gold.
Oh yeah. What'd you think?
I'm happy we started the Blerd cave right after to get that taste out of my mouth.
Oh damn. Well, okay. I'll tell you what. I'll throw you another one out there then. What was the name? What's the guy's name? That was on Scrubs with him.
Zach Braff?
Yeah. Apparently he wants to be Blue Beetle, so they can reunite.
That'll be better than him doing fucking Cheaper by the Dozen on Disney Plus.
I actually heard that movie was charming. Look, I'm just telling you what I heard. I saw some reviews. People said it was charming. That's all I'm saying.
Because they didn't want to be called a racist because his wife is black in that movie.
I mean,
they said that movie was bad. They going to be called all kinds of races. Their family had slaves, all kind of foolishness.
That is true. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Did you watch Halo? Did you watch the Halo first episode?
It was 3 a.m. I was making a DiGiorno.
Oh, okay.
I got to, I think this may have been that like 30, 40 minutes. I think like 30 minutes. I got to right when the little Asian girl meets Cortana. No, it wasn't Cortana. She was talking to a lady that was trying to get her to tell the people.
Keyes' daughter.
Yeah,
Keyes' daughter. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, she was talking to somebody from the UNC about maybe you could tell them that Spartans are actually really good, and she was like, "I just saw my friends and family just get slaughtered." But yeah, I got to that point. I think that may have been 30 minutes of the episode. And the episode was like an hour. Okay,
yeah, it's halfway.
From what I saw, I mean, it was fine. But like I told you, it was some unnecessary CG at moments. Like it was some unnecessary CG.
Like what do you mean?
Master Chief throws his battle rifle to the ground, but the battle rifle in the ground is CG. I was at LA Comic-Con, early this year, I think it was. I saw some battle rifles for $43 that they could have picked up.
You know what they did? I don't think it was CG. I think they touched it up with CG because they do that shit a lot. That's why I say it was unnecessary. I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's kind of like how when we see the Black Panther costume or the Captain Marvel costume or even Vision, a lot of times we don't notice that there's CG on them a lot of the time. And it's subtle. It's subtle shit. You wouldn't think about it. But I remember one time I saw a thing of Vision behind the scenes on the set of Avengers, and I was like, wow, why do they have all those dots over his face? And when I went back and looked, it was because they literally go back and touch up his face with CG. And they do the same with Black Panther's costume. His costume has it too. Spider-Man's apparently.
People didn't even notice it about the Black Panther stuff until that last fight.
Yeah, that last fight.
And it was just like, okay, this is all CG.
Yeah, the fight between Black Panther and Killmonger is 100% CG for the most part. But like the suit itself is actually CG. He has a suit on. Even in Civil War, when he had the more practical costume, even that had CG on it. But yeah, I get where you're coming from though.
But to answer your question,
like the George Lucas. It's like George Lucas got a hold of it.
Yeah, but I was. It was fine from what I saw. For the most part, I didn't realize the actor they had for John. Was
Pablo Schreiber.
I didn't realize it was him. I swear I kept reading that it was going to be old boy that's playing the Mandalorian.
No,
He's going to be doing this as well.
Yeah, no, it's Pablo.
Matt Sweeney.
Yeah. Or as I remember him from what was it? Orange is the New Black.
Oh yeah, with the Dr. Disrespect mustache.
Yeah, what they call him, porn stash.
Yeah,
Pablo. But he's good though. He's good at it.
Yeah,
he's doing a good job.
But yeah, it was fine. I hope they don't do this shit anymore because that fucking Doom movie did it. Where we got to show you shit in first person.
Yeah,
y'all gotta stop this shit, bro. Especially as bad as it looked in this shit.
I mean, I was fine with it. It didn't bother me.
I was laughing at the sound effects.
Well,
like when the shield went down.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing I want people to take notice of, and this is why I always say you can't always have it 100%, because there's certain things that will, like case in point. I'm gonna paint you a picture, Carter, and I want to see and I just can't wait to see your reaction. So imagine they do that scene again where you're looking through his visor. And Master Chief throws one of the plasma grenades and catches a grunt. And the way them grunts be screaming and hollering and running around like crazy, it's going to look weird.
Yeah.
It's going to look weird.
I was actually going to say, it's actually funny you said, like, people have to... Well, okay, so Tim and Dora said, no respect for the lore. In game, we don't even know who he is. It's supposed to be a big reveal. Here's the thing, though.
They've actually shown his face before in the games.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have.
I don't ever remember them showing his face.
Yeah, he's taken his helmet off and shit before.
He's taking it off. But I don't.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not like I said. All I know is people I know who play the fuck out of those games and love them way more than I could ever hope to.
Yeah,
they have told me that shit. So
yeah. So the one thing I will say about this show is you cannot. This is you can't go think you can't go into it
just like the Batman is
not doing
Batman comics. You can't go into Halo thinking it's the Halo video game.
Yeah, they just already said they were gonna do their own thing with this show.
All you folks that love Avengers Infinity War and Endgame and Spider-Man Homecoming, them motherfuckers ain't the comic either. So either you get jiggy with it.
I got you.
You either get jiggy with it or you can't. It just is what it is. But I mean, thing is, I don't like the video games. I don't think they're particularly good. I think they're kind of bland and boring. However, I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
But and that says something.
That's the one thing I can't say.
This is Arcane for me. This is like what Arcane did for me, Halo is doing for me as well. And what I mean by that is, it's a property, it's a TV show about a game that I don't give a fuck about. I don't care about. I don't like it. I don't think it's interesting. I think it's fucking stupid. And in all likelihood, I probably don't even really care for the community that's centered around it. However, I enjoy the show. I don't like League of Legends. I don't find it interesting. I don't think it's a fun game. I think it's a very stupid game. And usually the people I know who play it are incredibly fucking toxic about it. However, I think Arcane's a really good TV show. I like it a lot. It makes me smile, makes me warm on the inside, but they're not trying to break my heart. But Halo, same thing. I couldn't give a fuck about Halo. You couldn't, like, honestly, what I care about Halo wouldn't even amount to a squirrel fart.
So here's my question on all of that.
Okay.
Are you saying quality-wise?
You missed everything I said.
No. I'm making sure.
I'm talking about from an entertainment perspective. I am entertained when I watch
Okay,
the show.
entertained.
I'm not talking
Okay.
about, and I don't even think the quality of it is that bad. Because honestly, go back and play those fucking Halo games. Those games are fucking bare bones as fuck.
No. Oh, no.
Like I'm talking about, like, go ahead.
No, what I was saying is, are you trying to say that the quality of that show is just as good as Arcane?
I'm not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You missed the entire point of what I was saying. And I'm gonna reiterate. I'm not saying that Halo is just as good as Arcane.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, just like Arcane, it's a show about something I don't give a fuck about.
Mm-hmm.
But the show, I do give a fuck about.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. It's exactly what I said it was. I don't like League of Legends. I think League of Legends is dumb.
Oh,
as
yeah,
I've already said.
That's fine.
But I like the Arcane show a lot. I actually am very anxious to see a season 2 of it. And just like with Halo, whenever a new Halo comes out, I just giggle because I see all my friends who love it. They get happy, and I'm happy for them. But when they come to me, try to talk to me about Halo, I give them the same look you giving me right now.
No, LJ Brown said something I don't agree with in the chat. He's saying they waited too long for Halo. They should have made it earlier.
You couldn't have made it earlier.
You couldn't have made it.
No.
You couldn't have made it, period. Just because of what people were going to expect. Like with the gentleman that said that they didn't respect the lore and things like that.
What lore?
You were never.
I'm sorry. I'm being dismissive.
Yeah,
I'm being dismissive. The lore of Halo is not that deep.
Okay, here's better.
It's not that deep. It's not Shakespeare.
Look how many Batman movies we have, Avengers movies, this, that, and third. You are never going to appease the people that want what they've already experienced in this new form.
And that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying. All you people who love Infinity War, you love Endgame, you love Spider-Man Homecoming, you love Captain America and all these MCU films, you love all these Batman movies, none of them are one-to-one the comic. Hell, some of them aren't even 20% like the comic. And y'all still fucking love them. Like, everybody's favorite Batman movie is The Dark Knight. Yet, it's the movie that's probably the most not like Batman of anything we've ever seen. And that exists in the same world. We've seen Batman and Robin. And I say that because it's a movie where Batman doesn't want to be Batman. But people hold up The Dark Knight the way Rafiki holds up Simba in The Lion King. Just like all the animals just start kneeling and bowing in grace. And the African folk song starts playing. Like, all that shit's fucking happening for The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight, I'm sorry, Dark Knight trilogy is like, I don't like it very much. I mean, I like The Dark Knight for what it is, but it is long over the years has become one of my least favorite movies. It's quickly starting to go that direction, especially in light of recent events. But yeah, no, you're never going to get that. And if you're expecting one-to-one translation, you're never going to get that. And honestly, why would you want that? That's boring. Like, that's like, what was it when people said, case in point, Uncharted, the Uncharted movie that nobody wanted to see.
Oh, fuck you. That is not the same.
No. Hear me out. Uncharted, they literally took scenes from the video games and redid them shot for shot. And what did everybody say when they saw them? Well, yeah, I could have just played the video game. The thing is, you're never going to be able to make that as interesting as what it was in the video game, because a movie, you can't fucking play it. There's no interaction. The scenes that we had in those video games, they were interactive. You could play those. That is why it works better in a video game versus in a movie. And which is why I think, honestly, I don't think you should be going out of your way. Games that are very cinematic, I don't think you should go out of your way to make a TV show or movie out of them. Like stuff like Uncharted, stuff like Halo, stuff like, I don't know, Mass Effect, Ghost of Tsushima. You shouldn't go out of your way to try and make those into movies because you're always going to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to, you just copied the game. Either you're not enough like the game, or you're nothing like the game. There's no like middle ground or in between for people. Like not even a little bit. So it is what it is. But all that aside,
recommended.
All that aside, I did enjoy Halo. But what was your recommended, Carter?
What was your recommended, Ernie?
Let me guess, you don't have one.
No, I have one. It's just I've learned that anytime I'll say a recommended, it'll be some shit you've already made a video on. I didn't notice.
Oh, well, I mean, there's that. I mean, it doesn't happen every time. A lot, actually, more often than not, I usually pick something off the beaten path that I didn't think about. I will say this. I tell you what, I'm not going to pick something that... I'm not going to pick something that came out this week. I'm actually going to pick something that came out last week. Because actually... And it's something that actually was on my record. It was actually on my top 5 comics of the week last week. But I went back and reread it again with a fresh pair of eyes, and I like it even more than what I already did. What I'm talking about, there is a comic some of you may or may not be aware of. It's from a company by the name of AWA Upshot.
Right.
For those who don't know or are familiar with that company, it's a company who it's called Artist, Writers, and Artisans, or something.
Oh, okay.
That's what AWA stands for.
Okay.
Remember, what was it? Bad Mother.
Yeah. You talked about them quite a few times because you loved Bad Mother, and apparently from what you've said before on previous birthdays, a lot of the stories that they do could be movies, or they're done to be pushed as movies. Yeah,
right. Yeah, they're meant to start properties, and they're always short. They usually don't do comics that go past 5 issues. Now they might do sequels to comics. Like I know there's one they have called Year Zero, which ran I think 4 or 5 issues, and then they did like a sequel to Year Zero. They did like Volume 2 that was like another 4 or 5 issues, something like that. And the Resistance, that's another one that they kind of kept coming back to. But this is one called The Crimson Cage. This is actually the 4th of 5 issues. This is a comic about one of my personal favorite things in life: wrestling. This is a comic about wrestling. You can see here the character on the front. I think I'm blanking on her name at the moment. I think it's Charlene or something like that. But basically, she's supposed to be like Sensational Sherry. This is a comic about a guy called Chuck Frenzy. And Chuck Frenzy is a wrestler who may or may not remind you of Macho Man Randy Savage in some ways. He's not 100% like Macho Man Randy Savage. But basically, to put a finer point on it, the shot that you see here, I also love the attention to detail. You can see even though that's not the way it happens in the actual comic, the scene that I'm showing where the woman, she has the blood all over her face, very Becky Lynch-ish of her, very reminiscent of Becky Lynch from when Nia Jax potatoed her that one time, and she had blood gushing everywhere. You can see the blade marks on her forehead. Yeah, like, you know, if you ever, like, see old school wrestlers that used to get juice, color, whatever you want to call it, a lot. That's basically wrestling slang for bleeding. Sometimes they would use like a little razor and they would cut their foreheads. People who've done that a lot, you can see the blade marks on their foreheads. Like, you can see it very pronounced. Like, go look up pictures of Devon Dudley. Look at his forehead. You'll see kind of something similar to what she has going on her forehead. But basically, this guy, Chuck Frenzy, he is trying to become the top guy in his wrestling promotion. Trying to be the best. And he finds himself in a position where he could potentially get to the big time. And he cuts a deal in a way, they don't really outright say that it's the devil, but he basically cuts a deal with the devil, you know, for long story short. And basically, he ends up having to, all these people who are in his way. There's a guy who looks eerily like Ric Flair, like almost like a cross between Ric Flair and superstar Billy Graham, who's kind of in his way, and that guy ends up getting killed, and Chuck ends up becoming the champion because they end up putting him up against somebody else who's not as big a star. And then eventually it gets to a point where, without saying too much, he starts seeing things. He starts noticing stuff. Yep. He starts seeing ghosts in the ring, the ghosts of the people who he's killed. Also, I do want to show this scene. This shot is actually pretty amazing. So the woman who was on the cover, who basically got busted open, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. This is what happens. She gets potatoed. She's going against this girl. This takes place in like the early 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, I think. But point of the matter is, she's actually finally getting a chance to wrestle. She basically, Chuck Frenzy and her used to have this kind of normal gimmick. They weren't like, anything too crazy. They're like your average wrestler valet package. But then as Chuck has started going down this dark road, his wife, she starts going down it too, in a way where she starts taking on more of the way Sensational Sherry used to look back in the day when she was a macho, how she had like all the crazy hair and crazy eye makeup, and she's going down that path too. And then eventually at a point, and I love this because she literally leans into it. The people are basically booing the women in the ring because people are like, oh, bring the men out. And then the second she gets that color, everybody's freaking the fuck out and like falling in love with her. Like you see at the bottom, she's flicking the blood into the crowd, like just like letting it flow all over everybody. But what happens in this comic is Chuck learns that he's not the guy. He's not the guy that they want to go with. He's a transitional champion. He's not going to be the big time that everybody that he thought he was going to be after all the dirt he's done to reach the top.
You just getting it just to the pay-per-view, big dog.
Yeah, right. You get it. Yeah. Look. Look, yeah, you won this shit on Monday Night Raw. You lose. Like, you remember how they did Randy Orton? Remember how they did Randy Orton after he beat Chris Benoit? Remember how he literally lost the belt to Triple H at the next pay-per-view? Yeah. Like, he literally won the belt from Chris Benoit, and literally the next night on Raw, he was already getting shit on.
From what somebody told me, The Miz cashed Money in the Bank again, won, and then lost it the next week on Raw. He didn't even get a pay-per-view.
Dude, that belt don't mean shit no more. But like you guys right here, this is the whole thing where Chuck, like I said, you kind of see the look on the guy's face. You see this is the guy that whose picture he's standing next to is the guy who was the first one they had to take out. But now it's getting deeper. Chuck is actually having to kill people who he cares about and people who have families. And if those people see what he's doing, well, guess what has to happen to them too? And it gets to a point where
is this actually called getting buried?
No, I mean it might be shit, but no. There's a point where Chuck throws and I want to show you this is because I'm not going to show you the end of the comic because this part isn't really like the crazy part. There's a part here where the dude he's supposed to be going up against, the guy that the company wants to have the belt. Chuck goes off script after he learns that basically the Vince McMahon of the company don't want him to have the belt no more. So this dude basically goes out while this dude is cutting a promo. Charlene basically busts this dude upside the back of his head with a chair, and then they snatch the mic. This is not supposed to be happening, and you can even see it at the bottom of the panel where the woman's sitting there like, "What the fuck?" Basically, this dude. Okay, so basically, what this dude does is he starts embracing the whole dark side gimmick that he started with this whole getting these supernatural entities to help him become the top wrestler. This dude basically turned it to the Undertaker. And that's what I love about this. Like I said, this isn't even like the main thing. There's other shit that's going on in here. Like I'm just showing you the wrestling side of it. There's a lot of shit that's going on outside of the wrestling that will kind of throw you for a loop. But yeah, the Crimson Cage, if you're not reading it, it's almost wrapped up. They have one more issue left in the Crimson Cage. And yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's actually pretty wild. I highly, highly recommend it if you have not done so. What you got, Carter?
Man, so I completely forgot I had this in audiobook format, and I showed you guys my iPod like a Blerd cave or two back, and that's what I've been listening to when I got to clear my head, ease my mind. And I forgot I had this story as an audiobook, so it made me want to go back and actually read the comic. So I'm recommending Lock and Key.
Ooh.
Joe Hill, aka Stephen King Jr.
Name dangerously really close to Joe Chill.
There you go. Some really cool art by Gabriel Rodriguez. I found out recently that they had a show on Netflix, but apparently it ain't standing. Yeah, it ain't it.
It ain't it.
But that book it does a lot of things, and it does a lot of things very, very well. It's not your typical comic book. I think if anything, you could very easily have that book kind of like Joe Hill's dad would do. Just you could have that book as a novel. You don't even need art with it, and the fact that this actually has art just adds that extra that oomph to that story. There's a lot of fantastical stuff going on. There's a lot of lighthearted, well, not a lot of lighthearted stuff, but there's some lighthearted stuff in there. And what I was gonna say, there's a lot of fucked up stuff in that book. It's a horror book, so of course there's going to be. But for all of you people that are kind of went the boys route or not Doom Patrol, but like any of you all that went that route of I'm gonna just watch the show without reading the book, I wouldn't recommend you do that with this because I saw several episodes of the Netflix series, and I would really recommend you read that book because that series ain't really doing that book any kind of justice.
I would read the book. It's its own thing.
And I don't want to have people do that if they're already invested in it. But
I'm just saying,
you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, if you want a little bit more, because you know how the Lock and Key series almost seems like it's more for the lighthearted kid adventure.
It's a Stranger Things
kind of thing.
It's a Stranger Things crowd.
Goosebumps, Stranger Things kind of deal. If you want something a little bit more up there, a little bit where you can get your drink on. For those people, I would highly recommend you read that story. It has a lot of twists, a lot of turns. It goes a lot of ways your ass is not expecting. And, every so often, Joe Hill will come back and he'll do another Lock and Key issue out of nowhere. He'll have a crossover with something. But really good story. Really, really good story. We won several awards. I think it actually won an Eisner, if I'm remembering right. But, that's my recommended this week. Lock and Key. Go read that. Go get that in your life.
And that's an IDW joint. Shit, I forgot it was IDW.
It was a tie between that or the Cape, but the Cape gets too fucked up.
Oh,
the Cape gets fucked up.
Oh Lord, Now I will say, someone brought up. I don't know if you saw this one, Carter. Says Ed Boy in the Cut says the artist and writer behind Wonder Woman Dead Earth is making a wrestling comic.
I did see that.
Okay, do a power bomb. I want to check that out. You know what I've discovered recently? I love wrestling, but I really like wrestling in comics when it's done right. Like, I'm not talking about the WWE comics. They be doing they try and do comic book versions of WWE storylines.
You see, I would disagree with you on that one, just because those were actually done really cool. The ones that I did reading those made me wish there was some kind of animated series
Mm.
in that universe.
You want a Tiger Mask. You want a Tiger Mask.
I keep hearing about that one because
Tiger Mask
Kenny
is
Omega.
good.
Yeah, okay.
It has a Kenny Omega, Tetsuya Naito. A lot of the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys are in it. They pop up in it to some degree or another. But no, I absolutely positively love the Tiger Mask series. But what I was more just saying, I like it when people do wrestling comics and they take it seriously. Like the Crimson Cage, like what I'm presuming Do a Powerbomb is going to be. There's some other ones I've seen too that are pretty interesting as well. But like they take the shit seriously. Like if you read the Crimson Cage, you can tell these people did their homework. The people who are writing this did their homework on wrestling. They actually know about wrestling. They use terminology that you don't hear people who just discovered wrestling yesterday use. They use terms like for instance, they talk about juice, they talk about color, they talk about promos, they talk about taking a powder, they talk about like all the little terminologies, the code words and keywords and phrases that wrestlers, smart fans, stuff like Maverick. What was it? There's a common phrase you'll hear people, especially people who are been in the business a long time. You'll hear them refer to something being the shits, and they're not talking about it's the shit as in it's good. No, they mean the shits as in this was bad. That comes up in this comic, and that's actually something you typically hear not from smart fans. You hear it from wrestlers. That's terminology you actually hear wrestlers use. And they're calling people marks and stuff like that, and whatnot and what have you. But yeah, that's the type of stuff I appreciate when people who actually love wrestling make a comic about wrestling and they respect it. They treat it with some reverence. So there you go.
Abraham bringing up Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh Lord, not celebrity.
But I actually read a little like synopsis for Do a Powerbomb.
Okay.
Lona Steel Rose wants to be a pro wrestler, but she's living under the shadow of her mother, the best to ever do it. Everything changes when a wrestling-obsessed necromancer asks her to join the grandest pro wrestling tournament of all time, which is also the most dangerous. DBZ. In a tale where the competitors get more than they ever bargained for. So we getting a Tournament of Power wrestling edition.
So wait, we getting Ultimate Muscle? Is this going to be Ultimate Muscle?
With it being the team that did Wonder Woman Dead Earth, I highly doubt we're going to see anybody singing about rice or farting.
I mean, I want to see somebody take that muscle buster. I just want to see somebody take that muscle buster.
If we see a cameo from Kevin Mask, I will not be upset.
No, I wouldn't. Look, actually, I don't know. Can we? Oh man, this actually would be pretty cool. And you know what I like about it too? It's women's wrestling. It's women's wrestling, which I know some people aren't crazy about it, but if you actually know where to find good women's wrestling, what promotions actually have good women's wrestling on a more consistent basis, you would probably a lot of people would probably change their mind about it. But New Japan usually has like really good wrestling in their well, not New Japan, but they was it Joshi Road, or Bushi Road, I mean,
pro
Shimmer
wrestling
and stuff like that.
Tournament of Power. I would watch that. I'm gonna read that because it's Wonder Woman Dead Earth team, but I would watch that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson's pretty much money in the bank. I liked his Beta Ray Bill too. Yeah. His Beta Ray Bill was really nice. But yeah, this is basically what I'm talking about when I say I want to see good wrestling comics. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, since you're constantly talking about wrestling comics, Mailman had a question, and I actually want to hear your answer to this. Is Heels any good? The one with the arrow dude. Have you seen Heels? I like
it a lot. I watched the full season. I'm actually looking forward to the second season.
Apparently, that's why CM Punk isn't wrestling right now because he's been filming shooting. Okay,
yeah, he was filming for it because he plays. He was in the first season. Yeah, he was in the first season. Yeah, he was in the first season. But no. But yeah, it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me. I like the show because it's about being a heel. It's exactly what it's about. For those who don't know what the show is about, Heels is a show where, okay, so Stephen Amell, who played Oliver Queen on CW's Arrow for umpteen million years, he's playing a guy. I think his name is Jack Spade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
His dad used to be a pro wrestler, but without going too much into it, his dad, and this isn't really a spoiler, his dad committed suicide. But they don't really tell you why right away, and I'm not going to say why right away either. However, both Stephen Amell's character, Jack Spade, and his brother, they tried to rebuild the organization, the wrestling promotion, the small-town wrestling promotion that their father had built up and had made so prestigious. And it's all that entails. Basically, Stephen Amell's character is the top heel in the company. He's the top heel. He's the one who's always got the belt. And he's kind of like a mix of Stone Cold Steve Austin and maybe some other things. You know what? Stone Cold Steve Austin, but more dialed down, if that makes any sense. And then his brother is the baby face. But then we start realizing as you go through the show, Jack is actually a really nice guy. Like, I mean, he's kind of an asshole to people if he doesn't know them really well. He tries to keep people at arm's length because Jack is a heel. And he's old school. So that means even when he's not working, and when I mean working, I mean wrestling, he's still a heel. He's still an asshole. He treats people very dismissively, and he doesn't like being seen in public with his brother, who is a babyface, because they're not supposed to be friendly with one another. Now, his brother, whose name I'm blanking on at the moment, he's the babyface. But he's a fucking asshole. For real. He's mean to people. He's dismissive to people. He treats people like shit. And the whole point of the show is showcasing how they turn.
His brother's name is Ace.
Ace. Oh, okay.
Ace Spade.
Ace Spade. Yeah, Jack Spade. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. I couldn't remember his name. And, it should have been obvious. But yeah, point of the matter is Ace, he's a piece of shit. Through and through, and he's better at being a heel than being a babyface. But here's the problem. He doesn't want to be a heel. He doesn't want to be a heel at all. He wants to be the guy. He wants to be liked. He doesn't like people booing him. And where Jack is kind of the other way around. He's not comfortable with people cheering him. So it's kind of how showing the dynamic of how all that works. But it's a good show. I love it. I think it's great. Honestly, I like Stephen Amell doing this and not doing like Arrow, or I don't ever want to see a motherfucker in a hood with a bow and arrow ever again. I want to see this. I want to see him come to the ring, beating asses. And the good thing about it is, I know that Stephen Amell is legit because he actually knows how to wrestle. He's been trained.
Yeah, it makes sense why you would see him wrestling, or you see it on ESPN or stuff like that. Why he had been going to all these different wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Basically getting prepared for this. And he actually did the work. So,
well, here's the other thing too. The very interesting thing about this too is this is why when all the Cody stuff was going on, at first I thought it was a work, because I thought, oh, they're writing Cody off television because he was supposed to be on the show, and because Cody and Stephen Amell are like this. So, like, Stephen Amell actually was the reason why Cody was on Arrow those 2 times that he was on.
Now you almost, that was almost a C, but you turned it into, come on now.
Oh, sorry.
Almost a C.
Sorry.
I almost have Batman get your ass on. I'm telling you that.
No, I'm, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be like them Karens. Instead of calling the police, I'm gonna call Superman. Like, yes, he's here. Yes, he's here.
You can't call Superman because you work for Marvel.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, you know how I'll do? I'll call Captain Marvel.
Oh God.
She'll take care of
you. So you calling a Karen?
Yeah, I'm calling Karen. I'm calling. Hey, but you know what? You know what I love though? I like it when Karens use their white privilege not as a sword, but as a shield for others, which is something I've actually seen Captain Marvel do. And also we got to see Emma Frost do in Jerry Duggan's Devil's Reign X-Men #3. So there you go. You get to see Karens do Karen shit, but they're doing it for good, not for evil. Let's get this. We got some super chats here too. Let's see here. Let me go back because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Where'd it go? Here it is. This is from CT Kook. Says, with the $2 super chat says, if Garfield can be redeemed, so can Finn. It's talking about Finn Jones, who played Iron Fist. I mean, maybe.
I thought he was talking about Finn from Star Wars.
Nah, it's a running gag. He's always bringing up Finn Jones. Finn Jones has got to play Danny Rand in the.
I feel like a dickhead now. I totally thought he was talking about Finn from Star Wars.
I mean, he might be, but that's what I assume because he always brings up Finn Jones. But no, I mean, I'm not saying he can't be. Just I'm not interested in seeing it till it happens. Like when it happens, then I'll be like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna be like all those fucking Andrew Garfield stands now, who you can still smell the new car smell on them. I'll be the guy that says, yeah, man, I've always been behind Finn Jones as Iron Fist. Here's the funny thing. I can actually say that because I actually defended Finn Jones for a long time on Iron Fist, even after the show came out. And I tried to cut him some slack, and everybody called me crazy for it. So there you go. If anybody understands, it's me. B Black with the $4.99 says, just bought third Bitterroot volume, plus this Afrocentric indie called New Masters, plus new Atlanta episodes, Bridgerton, and finishing Lovecraft Country. Dude, nothing but black excellence. Black excellence.
Have you seen the new Atlanta episodes?
Yeah, I haven't yet. I need to. I have to wait for my wife.
That first episode, man.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's wild.
So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm not gonna spoil it for you or anything like that, but none of the cast is in the first episode.
Really?
None of the cast is in the first episode.
Interesting. Okay, that's all I need to know. I don't want to know anything else.
Yep.
I will take it from there. Go Country's baby's father with the $5 super chat says, yo, when you seen Black Panther movie and seen that CG fight, did your African Koofy pop up on your head and you went, It did actually. It did actually. I love the Black Panther movie. I think it's a great movie. I do not think the CG at the end was particularly good. I'm going to tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Blade 2 and the fight scenes where they use CG instead of using real people. And just like with Blade 2, Blade 2 is...
fuck away from me, dog. Because I literally was watching Blade 2 at work last night and laughed my ass off.
Look, when you saw the motherfuckers, they were moving like PlayStation 1 characters.
There was a few moments at that end fight.
Yeah.
But the fight when he was fighting the
ninjas,
the blood pack. Oh
yeah, he was fighting ninjas.
I was cracking up at how nasty it was looking.
Oh yeah, and that CG did not age well either. And here's the sad thing. I've seen some recent movies with similar CG. And Black Panther, Wonder Woman. What was one of the other ones? There was another one that had some similar. But I mean, I let it slide because I still love the movie. My favorite part of that movie, and it's actually one of the CG parts, is when Nomak climbs up the column and does the
drops
macho
the elbow.
man. Like he come up like right on Blade's back. Yeah, no, I love that shit.
Black folks have ruined Blade 2 for me.
Damn.
Because I went and saw Blade 2 in theaters with my family. My family that was my like a report card present, whatever.
Yeah.
If you remember the last fight with Blade and Nomak, I think it's safe for us to say Blade caught hands.
Oh yeah, no, he got his ass beat.
Okay.
Blade got his ass whiz that zook.
Because Blade didn't even kill Nomak. He stabbed him. Nomak finished the job.
Yeah,
okay.
Nomak killed himself.
Nomak dies. Blade goes like, yeah, I'll never forget this. There was a black woman sitting beside me, my mama, my grandmother, and she just goes, I shit you not. Right after that saying, he just goes, oh yeah, he trying to look all cool after he just got his ass whooped. Everybody in that fucking theater died.
Oh man.
The whole moment was just murdered by this goddamn lady.
Oh no. You know what killed me for that movie? So you know when Nomak grabs him by his feet and swings him through a whole ass like marble column.
Oh, that little pillar, yeah. Man.
Here's the thing. That motherfucker's sunglasses was untouched. That dude's sunglasses was still sitting on his face. They wasn't even crooked. The motherfuckers looked like he just pulled them off the rack. I was like, bruh, y'all, nah. Like, I remember, and this is even me being a kid seeing this movie in the theater. I remember sitting there going like, oh, hell no. Because I was like, wait a minute. These motherfuckers for real. I was like, look, I get it. I know I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief. But goddamn, I was like, come on now.
Okay, y'all. If you don't know, it is on HBO Max. That's how I watched it last night.
Yep.
I rewound that part 4 times because I was laughing so hard. The main thing I was laughing at was not only did the glasses did nothing happen to him.
No.
But that he clearly went face first through it and started spitting up blood. I said, what happened to your eyes, big dog?
Dude, look, dude, even the Terminator sunglasses got fucked up at some point. Come on now. But no, but the thing is, it's still my favorite Blade movie. It's still my favorite Blade movie. All the dumb shit in it. And this is why I always tell people, it's okay to like dumb shit. Like, just because I say something stupid don't mean that it's bad. I can still love it. I love Blade 2. The CG in that movie is fucking terrible. 2
movies that are in my top 5 of all time, I've said this before, are Demolition Man and Face Off. Yep. 2 of those movies are in my greatest of all time.
And they are dumb as fuck. But they're very fucking entertaining. That's the thing. Here's the thing. So Carter and me, we talked about this before. If you love something,
yes.
Like, as people always say, like, when people hear me shitting on something, people automatically assume I don't like it. Here's the thing. I come from a school of thought where if you love something, you should be able to criticize it. And I always tell people, if you can't critique something objectively that you care about, you might not like it as much as you really do. You might actually be trying to overlook something that is a flaw because you don't want to ruin your opinion of something. Here's the thing, though. Yeah, you said Demolition Man, Face Off. I fucking love those movies. They're fucking stupid. They are so fucking stupid. Demolition Man has the dumbest plot ever. But the movie is fucking airtight. It's an airtight, entertaining film. Face Off. That movie falls completely the fuck apart when you actually start thinking about how science works. Look, so let me paint you a picture.
I've never heard somebody say it like that.
Well, no, think about it. These motherfuckers swap faces, right?
I can't.
Look, they swap faces, right? They swap faces, didn't they? So here's the deal. Okay, so they only swap faces. You mean to tell me that this motherfucker went home? Like, okay, so, because Nicolas Cage's character, Castor Troy, gets John Travolta's face and then goes home to live in dude's house with his wife and kids. And they make it pretty obvious that the wife and Troy are having sex. They bumping them uglies. You mean to tell me she ain't noticed nothing different?
even me being younger when I saw it, even I went, now this is young Carter, right? This is very young Carter when Face Off came out. Even young Carter went, but they not the same size or the same height or the same weight. John Travolta's knuckles was hairy as hell. How did Nicolas Cage knuckles get hairy like that?
Right? Well, it's like, wait a minute. You mean like she didn't notice it? Maybe, I don't know. Her husband,
Nicolas Cage,
dick wasn't as big or as little as it used to be. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. She was like,
okay,
no,
I'm happy. Young Carter didn't think like you just thought you freaking. Even young Carter just went. Nicolas Cage is lanky as hell.
Mm-hmm.
How she not know that wasn't her man?
Like, her husband literally, he ain't been in the hospital that long. Goddamn, he ain't coming out with the Gucci Mane. He ain't coming out with the Gucci Mane stomach. Come on now. But anyway, the Ninja Gecko with the $20 super chat just came in to say, "Love y'all. We appreciate. We love you back, brother. We love you back." We also got another one here from Gokun Sure His Baby's Father with a $5 super chat. Says, Blerd, what would Yo Wrestling be and who would you want to see in the ring? I mean, for me, honestly, I just like good wrestling. I like good wrestlers. I like technical wrestling a lot. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time is Bret the Hitman Hart. The best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. And the guy was good. The guy was solid in the ring. And honestly, even going back and like listening to not old, but listening to wrestling podcasts where people go back and talk about his matches, analyze his matches. And I'm not just talking about smart fans. I'm talking about actual wrestlers and people in the business going back and talking about his matches. I've heard so many people say that when you see a match between Bret and somebody else, someone will always, and without fail, they will always say, you can tell Bret carried that match. He said, I guarantee you, with how good that match was, Bret planned the whole thing out. Because Bret was that fucking good. So anytime I see a wrestler who is like Bret Hart, who is a technical wrestler, like guys like Bryan Danielson, very technical wrestler himself. I love wrestlers like Serena Deeb, who is very technical, trained by Malenko himself. Just a fantastic wrestler. I love people who have good technical prowess. As far as who I'd want to see in the ring, I mean, honestly, I've seen most of my dream matches that I want to see. I've seen in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's hard for me to say, but if I could have it my way though, like currently, right now. Honestly, a lot of between all the different wrestling promotions, ignoring the Forbidden Door, I'm actually getting a lot of what I want. So that's a tough one to answer. But if you want to know what match I'd like to see, like right now, I wouldn't mind seeing a program between I can't call him Aleister Black. It's Malachi Black. I'd like to see a match between Malachi Black and Bryan Danielson. I'd like to see that match. I think that would be They would put on a fucking clinic, I would think. B Black with the $4.99 says, do you think tie-ins should be essential? Seems like folks get upset when they are essential and not, let's see, was it like talking about Daredevil, Venom, X-Men? Yeah. Curious where y'all stand. I've been very open about the fact that I'm not crazy about tie-ins. Unless the story is good, I'm probably not going to read it. I think Carter, we talked about this with King and Black, I think. Too many fucking tie-ins. And some of them were good, like the Thunderbolts one I think you talked about was really good.
I said that was literally the only good one.
Yeah. And then what was the Absolute Carnage? One of my favorite comics was one of the tie-ins, which was the Life Foundation tie-in. That one was really good. But they didn't have anything to do. They didn't have anything to do with what was going on in the grand scheme of things. And yeah. Oh, go ahead. What's up?
I'm not going to ask the question. No, we're stretched for time as this. I ain't going to ask the question.
No, ask. Go ahead. I'm curious because now you got me wondering.
Well, you brought up the Life Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck happened to the Future Foundation?
I have no idea. I have not been reading Fantastic Four, so I've been so off and on Fantastic Four. I know that the people who are typically connected with it are still around to some degree. But I don't think they even called it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Honestly, Fantastic Four is like the biggest mystery in Marvel Comics to me because I try to keep up with it, but man, I have a hard time keeping up with it. There's too much shit going on. We got Triple.31 with 7 months. Says, can't remember if you mentioned or not, but have you watched Bust Down on Peacock? I have not watched it yet. I have so many shows I'm trying to get because I started watching Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount and have been thoroughly enjoying that. So once I get done with that, I'll get over to Bust Down. But yeah, Peacock and Paramount are kind of low-key dropping fire-ass fucking content that I'm actually really enjoying, which is surprise, surprise.
What episode of Kingstown are you on?
7 or 8. I think it's the 8th episode. I think it's the 8th episode. Yeah, 8th episode. So yeah, I think it's only like 2 more left. Oh, okay, no, I take it back. The last thing I remember, Redbeard. Redbeard popped up with the girl. Okay. And she got sold out. The girl got sold out. She woke up in that crack house.
Okay.
That's the last thing I remember saying, actually. And and him walking off where she was getting ready to try and sneak out. He was like, "Yeah, come with me, man. Smoke this sherm." I hadn't heard somebody call it Sherm in I don't know how long.
Frantic World wants to know, have you guys watched The Boys Diabolical? I have.
I've watched most of it. I kind of skipped around. It was okay. It was okay. It was a thing.
Did
that
you watch
saw.
the Aisha Tyler one?
Yes, that one was pretty fucking wild, actually.
Okay.
That's actually one of the better episodes to me. One of the better episodes.
Okay.
But it's one of those things. The Boys is because this is more in line with the comics, not the movies. I mean, the TV show. Like that's what I feel like it is in the case of the diabolical animated stuff. They remind me more of what the comics were like.
Okay.
And that is very difficult for me to keep up with because it's so fucking edgelord and so fucking cringe sometimes how over the top gory it can be that I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm out. Like there's a point where I'm like, this is a bridge too far. We got another one here from Go Constructor Baby's father with a $2 super chat says, my bad, I mean, what would your wrestling name be? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what my wrestling name would be. If I could be a wrestler, what would my wrestling name be? Honestly, I don't know. Like, okay, you know what? I remember, I'm trying to remember when I used to, when I used to play like SmackDown versus Raw and all those other games, I just got done talking about edgelord shit. I used to make, creator wrestlers like everyone else does. I used to have a character I used to always make on those games, and his name would alternate based on what I was thinking at the time. So his name would either be KMD or KOD would be his name. For those who either, I don't know, maybe you might know what those things mean, maybe you might not know what those things mean. Oh, but it can mean a multitude of different things. Most of the time, most people, sometimes people tend to lean towards kids on drugs or kiss of death or king overdosed or if you're talking about KOD, kill our demons is a bunch of other meanings for it. KMD usually, at least in the circles that I've traveled in, is usually just a shorthand way of saying kiss my dick.
Danger.
So yeah, that's usually I would usually either name my characters KOD or KMD. So just depending on how I felt at the time. And then we got another one here. With $2 super chat says, my bad again. Who would you fight in the ring? Honestly, who would I want to wrestle? Man, that's a tough one, actually. Because there's so many wrestlers I would want to wrestle if I could wrestle. I will say this: I wouldn't want to wrestle a high flyer because I'm not very flippy. Not very flippy. But I remember one of my favorite wrestlers back in those days was like guys like Randy Orton, Edge, of course Bryan Danielson, Malachi Black or Aleister Black. Though he's kind of flippy. Tommaso Ciampa would be a fun one. I would love to wrestle Tommaso Ciampa. That guy can go. I like him. So we'll go with that. That's my final answer. And we got another one here. We got the 1999 super chat from Gabriel the Dark Knight in the building. Says just showing support. We appreciate you, pimp. We appreciate you. Let's look at some questions from the Discord too, because like I said, we are actually kind of getting away. Even when I cut things short, things get away from us sometimes. Oh Lord, we got a lot of them in here. Let's see. Let's go. Let's run through them quickly. And while you're doing that, please get your questions. If you have questions for me in the chat, go ahead and throw them in there. I'll get to them when we get done with this. Also, I'm gonna do the thing I also forgot to do when I last week that I said I was gonna do. We're also gonna give away this copy of Boss Monster. When Carter left early, it kind of threw me off my game, and I kind of forgot about it because I was like, okay, well, I'll just go through the rest of the questions and we'll just end it. And I forgot, so we'll give this away to someone in the chat. Also, yeah, let's do it this way. Let's make it easy. If you want to win this copy of Boss Monster, leave a comment down on the video in this stream below, and I'll pick somebody from that. That'll actually make it really easy. Yeah. Comment and say something along the lines of Boss Monster. And there you go. I'll find it. Okay, so Auntie Matter says, when the X-Men inevitably make their way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what comic book storylines do you want to see adapted, be it in the form of movies or series on Disney Plus? What characters do you want to see featured when all is said and done? Why characters do you think, and what characters do you think will never see the light of day in the MCU? Well, I'll go ahead and say that right now. I don't think we'll ever see Legion. That's the easy one. Legion and probably any other weird Grant Morrison characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nate Gray.
Yeah, that one. We won't see X-Man. Won't see any of that. I don't think we'll see any of those. Any of the characters that just require too much fucking suspension of disbelief. I don't think you'll see any of those. Let's see here. I'm also gonna say, as far as what characters I want to see, I mean, honestly, as long as I see the characters I care about, I see Cyclops, Storm. I would like to see Sync, but I'm not, I don't expect it to ever happen. Honestly, I don't think we'd ever see Sync in a movie either, if I'm being brutally honest. Unless something just crazy happens. I would love to see characters like Nightcrawler, which technically we have seen before, but I'm just saying, like, just characters I would like to see. Those are really the ones I'm just kind of like hardcore about. I wouldn't mind seeing Gambit. Whatever. Maybe get a redemption.
Who would you pick? Who would be your Gambit pick?
I've already seen that's in the FAQ. That's in the FAQ.
Is it?
Yeah, that's in the FAQ.
I was hoping you were going to say Channing Tatum to piss people off.
I don't know. I tell you what, this question honestly could be very easily answered by checking out the FAQ.
Okay.
Now that I'm kind of looking at them, like, most of this could be answered by the FAQ. But Scott Eastwood is who I picked in the FAQ. So
okay.
There you go.
I just saw the next question. I forgot about that part of that show.
I'm gonna drop this in here too, just in case.
Okay. Next question from Wrong. Have you seen the Halo TV show? It's rated TV-14, and they knocking little kids' legs off in the first 10 minutes. Good show.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, they literally opened the. Do you remember they opened the door to them kids and just
dude just started spraying. Dude just started spraying. He was like, nah. Dude, that dude took that motherfucking plasma gun out and the plasma rifle and just laid them low.
Oh, man.
That motherfucker, look, that man said, my fofo make sure all y'all kids don't grow. Let's see. We also got one from PCM 100 says, with 10 deaths of Wolverine finished and Moira getting her 11th life, do you think she's going to team up with Orcus? And do you think we're about to see the start of the Machine versus Mutant War? I definitely think we're about to see the start of it. I don't want Moira working with Orcus, but I do think she will end up throwing in an allegiance with Omega Sentinel and Nimrod. But I don't think she's going to go all in with Orcus, at least not right away. But Orcus would probably be smart to try and scoop her up, especially considering how much she could fuck up Krakoa with what she knows. We got Shadow the Cat 99 says, just watch the Blade trilogy for the first time, and they're really fun. How much do you like them, and how would you rank them? For me, it's 2, 1, 3. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a spoiler. That's exactly what my answer would be. I like the second movie the best. First movie almost as much as the second. But yeah, I like the second movie just a little bit more. The third movie I don't like very much at all.
Even the unrated one that wasn't that crappy theater version?
It was still the same movie to me. It was still the same movie to me. Wait.
I remember.
Are you ready to die? I was born ready, motherfucker.
Motherfucker. I like that.
Yeah, it's like
I just remember several interviews where apparently the guy who did that movie was he'd only done music videos and shit beforehand.
Yeah.
I just remember interviews with Wesley Snipes, and then I remember I think it was Patton Oswalt shitting on Wesley Snipes at one point about that movie.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
We talked about that, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what it was? The director was David S. Goyer.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because he's done a lot of stuff. He's been a writer on a shit ton of movies. Remember, we actually talked about this before. We were talking about because people were shitting on David S. Goyer's movies, and I was like, well, he hasn't done a bunch of terrible movies. I mean, he's also written some good ones. But he's also writing the Sandman television series on Netflix.
Oof.
You
just killed hope for that show for some people.
Well, maybe. I don't know. He also wrote the Constantine TV series, which I really liked. Let's see here. What else was it that he did? He wrote the story for The Dark Knight, which everyone loves so fucking much. He also wrote Blade 2 and Blade 1. Blade Trinity was his first time directing the Blade movies. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the only thing he had directed before that was a movie called Zigzag that I had never seen before, which I want to say I think had Walter Jones in. For those who know, Walter Jones is the Black Ranger, the original Black Ranger. Also had Wesley Snipes. Oh, no, it didn't have Walter Jones in it. Did not have Walter Jones. It was Sam Jones III. My bad. They did have John Leguizamo and Natasha Lyonne, who, oddly enough, he all worked with in Blade Trinity. What else was there? What else did he write? He wrote one of my favorite horror movies, which is a dumb horror movie, but it's one of my favorite, Demonic Toys. He also wrote scripts for Batman Begins. He actually wrote the scripts for most of the Batman movies from Nolan. So yeah, I mean, like I said, may not be the best director, but definitely a good writer. When you get him on something that actually works. But yeah, that's the thing that happened. Urban Prince of Strong Style says, Evening Blerd Carter, with the deleted scene confirming the Joker is coming to the Batman, should Harley Quinn make a debut in the Batman as well? I feel Harley Quinn was fucked over in the other films except for the Suicide Squad, and I also think they should cast Mikey Madison as Harley Quinn after I saw 2 clips of her being a psycho in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Scream.
Do you remember the one chick that got it the worst at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Flamethrower dog, the whole nine.
Yeah.
That's who Mikey Madison is.
Yeah. I know he's talking about that. She was the crazy bitch in Scream.
I didn't want to say that because I knew that there were a lot of crazy motherfuckers in that movie. So
yeah,
I was
there are actually.
The one that caught it the worst.
Yeah, honestly, I could see her doing that, but I don't really want to see her as Harley Quinn, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like she would overact it. She would overact it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she would, and I'm gonna tell you why. Spoilers for Scream 5. When the reveal happens, her character becomes really annoying to me.
Did she get set on fire again?
Yeah, she did, actually. She did. But yeah, I don't know.
Catch a break with them flames.
Dude, look, she's. You know what it is? You know how like wrestlers, they really like having certain shit done to them. They have certain spots they love to do. Like Britt Baker loves thumbtacks. That's her with fire. Like if this was a wrestling match, she would be the motherfucker that always pulls the blowtorch out from underneath the ring, and the can of gasoline, the lighter fluid. Also, I don't know if y'all know this, little wrestling insider baseball. If you ever see a wrestler set up a spot, like you ever see a wrestler pull a chair out or a table out and they start setting it up, they're not setting it up because they're going to use it on the babyface or whoever it is they're using it on. They do it because they're about to take the bump. That's why they set it up, so they know how to take the bump.
Jim Cornette is going to kill you in your sleep.
This is public knowledge. This boy, it's been public knowledge for a long time. Also, I've heard Jim Cornette say this. But yeah, no, also, you can tell when someone's going to lose because they won't be looking at the ref when the count's happening. So there you go. So if you ever watch a match and you see that the wrestler who's being pinned is not looking at the ref, assume they're about to lose.
You like that dude from that old Fox magician show who used to wear the luchador mask that showed you how all the tricks was done? You remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that shit. I've just ruined a lot of childhoods. But no, Jay Dizzle says, I have a teen son and wanted to introduce him to the Watchmen. I know every kid is different, but what do y'all think about the youngest, the youngest someone the youngest age someone should read it. Not just a question regarding violence and sex, but being able to appreciate the themes. If your son is a teenager, I think it's okay. I don't think anyone under the age of 13 should be reading it. And I don't know why I picked the age 13, but I just feel like that's about roughly the time when their minds would be more open to absorbing that content for what it is, not for what they think it is. Because that's roughly about around the time I think I read it.
Yep.
But yeah, Watchmen's heavy though. Watchmen is very heavy, so
Yeah.
I think that 13, maybe 14. I don't think anyone under that age should be touching it. Maybe 12 is the youngest, but I don't know. I feel like when you're 12, depending on how you're raised and your upbringing, what your personality's like, you may or may not be able to jive with a lot of stuff going on in that book, and you might be looking at other shit.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think even a teenager. A lot of the just Dr. Manhattan stuff alone is just going to be, what is this gibberish this blue dude is talking about with dick out?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because again, like Ernie said it, but I can't stress enough. That shit is heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy as fuck. And I see some other people saying 13 or 14 or maybe bump it up to 16. I can see that too. Honestly, here's the thing. I didn't really fully appreciate Watchmen until I was fucking like grown.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about like 20. Like I think I was like 20 or 21 by the time I went back. Actually, no. How old was I when that movie came out? Because I went back and reread it when the movie came out.
Yep.
Like I assume a lot of people did. So that was what, 2009? Ooh, shit. So yeah, I was actually much older. When I went back and reread that.
That actually makes me sad because it is so true.
What?
Brittany Murphy would have been a great Harley Quinn.
Yes, she would have been. I saw that.
Brittany Murphy would have been a really good Harley Quinn.
She would have actually done the role very well. I think she would have. And I hate saying some of this because we'll never know, but I feel like the way people feel about Heath Ledger's Joker, how people are like, oh, he redefined the role, or people, they look at an actor who played somebody and like, oh, no one's ever going to top this person. I feel like if Brittany Murphy would have gotten an opportunity to play Harley Quinn, people would be saying the same thing about her. Yeah. I think we would have gotten a better Harley Quinn earlier than what we did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Prince of Apathy says, is anything at WrestleMania piqued your interest? No, not even a little.
I don't keep up with it enough to even know what's going on at WrestleMania. I just found out about the Triple H stuff this morning.
Yeah, Triple H. Triple H retired. Yeah.
Because seeing him hold back tears was very strange to me. Because he's always been. I've seen that man be a prick for years.
Yes, and I know how he treated people backstage for a long time before NXT. So
I didn't even know he had daughter. I didn't even know they had kids.
Yeah, him and Stephanie. Oh, he been blowing Stephanie back out. They got plenty of kids. He been putting them titties to use. But store bought titties, by the way. Remember that. Anyway, I'm looking at the match card for WrestleMania. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, don't care. Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler for the Women's Tag Team Championship. I don't care.
P break.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm not saying. And here's the thing: I don't want people to think, oh, he's only saying that because it's women's wrestling. No, it's because I don't give a fuck about the Women's Tag Team Championships because WWE doesn't give a fuck about the Tag Team Championships. If they cared about those belts, I would care about those belts. But the thing is, they don't care, and I know that they're gonna fuck this up somehow, some way. They already fucked up Bianca Belair and her run to try and get the title. They already fucked off Rhea Ripley.
Is Bianca the one with the long ass weave with the Rapunzel hair?
You mean talking about the ponytail? That's not weave, by the way.
That's her real hair.
That's a real hair. That's a real hair.
No shit.
Yeah, that's a real hair. She. Also, I don't know if you know she's from Tennessee.
I think I did read something about that.
Yeah, because whenever NXT would come to Memphis, dude, people would freak the fuck out when she came out, to the point that at the time she was a heel. They would have to hot swap in the middle of the match and make her a babyface.
Because she went to UT, didn't it?
Yeah, UT Knoxville, I think.
Okay.
Speaking of Knoxville, Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Also don't care.
Jackass Johnny Knoxville?
Jackass Johnny Knoxville. WWE Champion versus Universal Championship. Winner take all unification match. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Do not care.
Is it the 2-night, 3-night thing they've been doing?
Yeah, that's the Sunday night I just read off. This is the Saturday night. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Don't care. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. I kind of care. The KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin to confront Kevin Owens. Don't care. Edge versus AJ Styles. I almost want to care, but I don't care. Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Third generation.
What?
Yeah, third generation don't give a fuck.
So we got Johnny Knoxville and Logan Paul.
Yeah. Oh, we're not done yet. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
Who the fuck is that?
That's Baron Corbin. Remember the guy used to come out and had the lit ass theme music, but he was sorry as fuck.
I remember the dude who was balding, but he still had like the spaghetti.
That's Baron Corbin.
Hair.
That's Happy Corbin. He doesn't have hair anymore. He finally let it go. I remember. I used to think Baron Corbin was so cool. He would come out because he would let the hair hang low, even though the shit was balding. I was like, and dude has some cool ass moves. End of Days, Deep Six. Moves are fucking amazing. This dude is fucking garbage, though. Oh my god, I fucking hate him so much. I know he's a heel. I'm supposed to hate him, but he has go away heat. He has go away heat with me. He's like, I just don't like you. SmackDown Tag Team Championship match: the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Get me the fuck out of here. I actually like Rick Boogs, but
I don't like his name. Who the fuck is Rick Boogs?
It used to be like Rick Bugenhagen, and then you have WWE.
They
like to change
even more
names.
nasty.
Well, no, what he would do is, I don't know if you ever seen him. He was the guy that would come out and he would do like air guitar and air instruments and shit like that. He's actually a really fun, charismatic, entertaining guy. But the thing is, it's a gimmick that only would have worked back in the 80s and 90s, back when everybody had a gimmick. Like you remember back in the 90s where everybody was either a plumber or you had like, he had the plumber. Yeah, what was it? Duke the Dumpster Droz. He was a garbage man. You had Bastion Booger. You had like, Isaac Yankum DDS. Like it was like everybody was a gimmick. This guy would have fitted perfectly back then.
These names are so. Do you know what these names remind me of? Remember that name I told you of that guy who got brought in by the cops?
Yeah.
Malcolm X and them hard.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yep.
That is legitimately someone's name here.
His last name was X and them hard.
No. His first full name was Malcolm X.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
The middle initial was N.
Oh god.
The last name was Nemhard. Nembhard. So his name was fully Malcolm X and them hard.
I'm done. Anyway, moving on. LJ Brown. I got to do it. Anyway, LJ Brown says, what video game adaptation would you think would work from a live action adaptation, and what director or main actor would you have for it? I tell you what, if you really just want to make a video game movie, I tell you what, because they're already fucking movies, this won't work, and I know they're actually already doing this. Metal Gear Solid. Make a movie out of that, so that way people actually know the story without having to play the game, because God knows a lot of people, they still have played it and still don't get it. But maybe make it more sensible. I know Oscar Isaac is supposed to be Snake in that movie, presumably, but I would just keep it at that. But I guess to not cheat, I tell you what I would do. Instead of just doing straight up Metal Gear, fuck it. Do Metal Gear Rising Revengeance with Raiden. And
who would you have do that movie?
Whoo, boy. Oh man. Raiden. Who would I get to play Raiden?
Not even play him, but who would you get to shoot that movie? Who could do a movie like Revengeance?
I would get Ryuhei Kitamura, who actually directed the cutscenes for Metal Gear Twin Snakes. He also directed the movies Versus and some other Japanese films. Guy's mostly a Japanese director. That's who I would get to do it. But as far as who I get to play him, that's the tough part. Because honestly, you'd have to get somebody annoying. Someone who's kind of annoying. What you think?
I was thinking about, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I don't trust his acting.
Who's
What's his name? The only reason I'm thinking about this guy is because he's gonna be in a movie called
I know who to do it.
or something. Ooh,
I know who to do it.
Go, because I can't remember this guy's name.
Ezra Miller.
Bye. Keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, and you know what I'm talking about.
Show now.
Actually, you know who I would love to see play Snake?
Who's that?
Oh God. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on this motherfucker's name? Because there's so many Chris's. Chris Evans. I actually like to see Chris Evans as Snake. That would work. Or if you really want to get in there, because Snake is loosely based. The Snake and Iroquois, the whole Iroquois Pliskin thing, and the whole Escape from New York element. Get Wyatt Russell. Kurt Russell's son to play him. That'd be cool too.
You mean Ryan Gosling in a BioShock movie with Nicholas Winding Refn, which is the guy who did Drive.
Okay.
Make BioShock an art house movie with Ryan Gosling again. Make another art house Ryan Gosling movie.
I'd be into it. Let's see what else we got. And then Elite X1 says, either of you two Blerds plan on playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So far, I really like the game, but wish it had a bit more melee functionality and embraced the madness of D&D quirkiness more.
You were actually talking about this game on Discord not too long ago.
Yes, I was. I mean, I'm interested in it. I do want to play it. I don't want to play it right this second. Because I'm a huge D&D guy, a lot of you guys know. And yeah, I want it to be a thing. But I know it's just more Borderlands, and I'm fine with that. I just hope it plays better than Borderlands 3 did, because Borderlands 3 on PlayStation 4 was hot garbage when it came to stability.
You just didn't like how you just didn't like the slow ass menus.
Well, no. Okay. Every time I pulled the menu up, the game stuttered like it was about to crash. And there were a couple of times it did. So, it plays better now on PlayStation 5, which is fine, but I have actually gone back and replayed it on PlayStation 5. It plays perfectly, fine and well. Yeah. I hope that this game doesn't have the same. I haven't heard anybody talk about bugs, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been so deep off on Elden Ring. I've literally sank 120 hours in Elden Ring as of last night. And that's just on the one character that I've been playing a lot lately. I'm just not even including what I've done on PC and the other characters that I also have on PlayStation 5. So that game has my attention right now.
Actually, I hit 60 this morning.
Look at you. Carter actually playing the game he was gifted. Look at him. He didn't give it back. He didn't give it back like he did me that one time. I remember the first time I sent him GTFO, he got the refund.
But at the same time, you got your money back. But I ended up just buying it myself. But
yeah, you did.
Again, to shout out to Jonathan Moda, you didn't have to buy me that game, man. I really didn't want you to buy me that game, man. But even though I still do like Bloodborne and Sekiro much better than this game, I'm still probably gonna play that Elden Ring as soon as we're done with this.
My man. Let's get into questions from the chat. We'll answer a few questions from the chat and then we'll get out. This is a question. It says, y'all don't virtually stone me or anything, but I've never understood the love of wrestling since it's not real. Is it like lowbrow theater? Here's what I used to describe it as. Cosplay murder gymnastics. That's one of the ways I used to describe to people who didn't understand it. Also, it's the athleticism, because these people are doing things in the ring that, while it's not real, it can still hurt people, and some people have died in the ring doing what they do, and people have put their bodies on the line. And there's people who often allude to the Dynamite Kid, a guy who literally, his wrestling style was so far ahead of his time and so dangerous, the dude couldn't even walk. And when he got into, like, I think his 50s, he had to literally, people had to take care of him. His wrestling style was just so out there. And it's inspired a lot of people who wrestle that way now, albeit they do it a little more safely, but it's still killing them. But also, I mean, the storylines, take them how you want to. I watch it more for the athleticism, because I really respect what these people do in the ring, and the artistry behind what they do, the way they can do something that on paper should kill them, but they do it in such a way that it doesn't. And yeah,
I always tell people when they say stuff like that, not saying you're being negative when you say it, but like
right.
Anytime people say that, same thing. My quick retort is, well, cartoons aren't real.
True.
But you can still absorb that. You still watch that, even though you know what time it is. It's not a real thing. You're watching animation. I just take that shit and put it with actual people.
You know, I got my wife into it. Reality shows, because she was like, "Well, it's not real," and I was like, "Neither are reality shows." I was like, "Do you know how many?" Like I said, like I forget what it was we were watching at the time, but I said, "You know that they went back and reshot that." I was like, "You know, the moment that's happening right now." And because I showed her a documentary showing her how reality shows are actually made. It's actually a documentary that's on the DVD of The Running Man, talking about how reality shows are made. And they were talking about people who had been on reality shows and be like, oh yeah, producers would come to us and tell us that so-and-so was talking shit about us, or they would do stuff to gas us up so that we would go at each other. And if it didn't come out the way they wanted it to, they would make us reshoot the whole thing as if it were like a movie. Like, they would be like, no, cut, go back, redo it this way. Did
your wife ever watch Pimp My Ride?
No, but I think I know where you're going.
I was gonna say, no, they've done a lot of different like interviews and exposés and shit throughout the years about all the shit that wasn't real on that show. Because a lot of it is just, spoiler alert for all you people that were fans of Pimp My Ride, a lot of that shit was staged, my guy. When Exhibit went to their door,
they knew it was coming.
They knew it was coming, and several of them had to act surprised several times because the producers and shit didn't think they were excited enough to see some random black rapper a lot of them had never heard of just showing up to their door.
Right.
A lot of the cars that were fixed certain ways, as soon as the episode went off, a lot of the stuff that was in those cars was taken out of those cars.
Because you couldn't drive those cars legally with that shit in there.
With a lot of the stuff that was in there. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. Also, I thought about a flaw. I thought about a flaw in my plan to do this giveaway. No, I just realized you can't comment on the video right now. Not to my knowledge.
I thought you meant after it.
After I tell you what I'll do is fuck it. Let's just do it now. We'll do it now. Because I just realized we're kind of getting close to the end, and I don't want to draw it out. And I realized that in order to even well, I guess I could do it. I could put it in front of the next video, but I don't want to do that either. Here's what we'll do. I'm just gonna pick a random person right now. I'm gonna pick a random person. Let's see.
I wish you had one of those bot things where you could just like scramble the name or something.
Yeah, I mean technically that's what I got. Technically,
or play fucking marbles.
That is true too. Let's see here. Trying to see if I can find. No, you know what? We'll just do it that way. Once this video is over, we'll just do it that way. I'm sorry. I hate to be indecisive. Once the video is over, go ahead, start commenting. I'll wait until like Monday. I'm gonna let this video go up for like a couple of days, and then I'll go back and pick the winner. We'll do it that way because Now, the way I'm trying to do it now, it would be too much of a headache to do. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do it the right way, the way we were.
Good luck,
originally
people.
gonna do it.
That game is a fucking blast.
Yes, it is. Let's see here. Let me go back through here. Looking for let's see here. Are you guys going to watch the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor? I'm gonna try to. I'm actually more interested in that than I am WrestleMania.
I thought the company was done.
Yeah, but they're doing one last thing. Last thing. Company is done, but we are going to get one last thing. Bill says, if Moon Knight has chaos inside of him, does that mean he'll be revealed as a Nexus being similar to Wanda? Maybe, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think they're talking about the personalities in his head. That's what I think it is. Let's see. Jonathan Stewart says, y'all think Everything Everywhere All at Once movie is going to be worth watching? I've heard a lot of good things about it. That's the movie with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Which apparently originally was supposed to have a male lead. But they gave it to her because of her acting prowess, which I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, I don't go in there thinking that's just going to be a karate movie.
No, don't. It's actually something really wild. Oh, Christian Rapper said, heck, Big E almost just died recently. Yeah, so, yeah, these guys, listen, they're putting their bodies on the line. Big E has a broken neck right now. Thanks to somebody being careless with him in the ring.
The AEW guy bought Ring of Honor. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Tony Khan. Yeah, he bought Ring of Honor.
I heard that.
Let's see here. Yes, Splosh, we're doing questions right now. Let's see here. Oh, another thing. You want the wool pulled back a little bit. Court shows. Did you know, Carter, that when they do those shows, when they have those people on those shows, do you know they send them a letter telling them, the people who are being who are the defendants, they actually send them letters telling them that if they lose their judgment, the show will pay it for them. So all those times you would see Judge Million on the People's Court, or Judge Mathis, or Judge Joe Brown, and they're reading the defendant, the riot act, basically like, say, oh yeah, you're going to pay this money, da-da-da-da. Yeah, but the reason why those people usually have the I don't give a fuck look on their face, it's not because, oh no, man, I'm hard, I don't care. It's because they know they don't have to fucking pay it. They bring the people on Jerry Springer show. What was it? If you watch, what was it? The Dark Side of the 90s. The first episode is about the Jerry Springer show. And one of the things, they have people who worked as producers on their shows. And they say, yeah, basically what they would do is they would nudge those people. They would send them out. They would wine them and dine them. Get them lit as fuck. And then when they would come into the show the next day, they would gas their heads up, say, oh, you know, so-and-so was talking shit. Oh, well, you know, so-and-so is blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, that's what they do. They do the same thing on fucking Maury Povich. They do the same fucking thing. When those dudes come out and start dancing on the show, they're not doing it because, you know, oh, I'm happy I'm not the father. They do it because they were told to do it. It probably happened once, and a dude actually did it for real, but every time after that, someone told them, yeah, just cut up, just act a fool.
Okay.
That's what they do. Matter of fact, I can, and for those saying, oh, Blerd doesn't know what he's talking about, I've been on a game show before. And I actually was the final contestant on the game show. I didn't fully win all the money that I could have won, but I did walk away with I think $2,000. And they actually had us, the producers, if we didn't give a reaction that was like, oh my God. If we didn't do anything like that, they would make us reshoot it.
What?
So there you go. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, no, Mari is done. I'm just saying that's an example. I'm not saying it's still a thing, but yeah, yeah, all of it is staged. It's all staged. Or as wrestlers prefer to call it, it's a work. It's work. Basically, you're working the crowd, working the audience. Yep. But yeah, I guess a more blunt way to say is that it's fake. But it's not really fake because technically people are actually getting hurt. So how fake can something be if people are actually getting hurt? Because I'm going to tell you right now, have any of y'all ever been hit by a chair? Ain't nothing fake about that. As a person who has been hit by a chair, ain't nothing fake about it. You cannot fake a chair shot. The best you can do is try and put your hand up at the last second. And that hurts too. Also, the mat, that is not cushion under that mat. It's a bunch of fucking plywood. The mat is like that thin. That thin. Things you know when you... Yeah. Anyway, what game show? The game show was called, was it Let's Ask America? It's not a thing anymore. But what was the guy that used to be on G4? Was it Adam Pereira?
Okay. Was it, or Adam Carolla?
No,
I think it was Adam Pereira. It was Adam Pereira.
Yeah, Mike Pereira. It was somebody. It was a dude that used to be on G4 that used to do the show. And then Bill Bellamy took it over later. Y'all, is that a weave Cyber Mora is wearing? No, she just came out the grave with her original hair color, which I thought was kind of weird. Just saying. Let's see.
Kevin Pereira.
There you go. Yeah, I think it was Kevin Pereira. Yeah. I always get them mixed up. Yes, it was Kevin Pereira, and he could not have looked any less happy to be there. Because, and I can tell you why, because he shot several of those shows in the same day. And we were his last one. No, I was not on Family Feud, no. Yeah, so you can't fake tables, thumbtacks, ladders, trash cans, etc. No, you cannot. Matter of fact, I challenge you to go watch the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match. There's a part where the referee is slapping the 3 count in the thumbtacks. I bet that shit hurt. K-Pop says, hey, Blerd and Carter, how would you fix the many issues with continuity and bad stories of Marvel and DC? Also, when is something big going to happen with Arakko and Mars? All that build-up and nothing so far. Well,
it's a loaded question.
Well, I can tell you this much. Arakko and Mars, well, you're about to get answers to that because X-Men Red is on the way, and it's about Arakko and Mars. They've been doing a lot with it. It just might not be as big as what I think some people want it to be. But continuity issues with Marvel and DC, there's not really a way to fix it. It's pretty good and fucked. Honestly, the only way you can fix it is with a reboot, and we saw how that worked for DC. DC rebooted the universe with New 52. Actually, let's go back even further. They rebooted the universe with Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then, 20, 30 some odd years later, they rebooted again with New 52, only to turn right back around in another 10 years, and then, nah, fuck it, it's all the same. It's all the same now. New 52, Crisis, post-Crisis, it's all the same now. You're good. Marvel doesn't so much reboot their universes, they just made a whole other imprint, and then they killed it. So there you go. The moves really hurt. The figure 4, yeah. Also, if you pile drive somebody, if you actually for real pile drive somebody, you will kill them. WMAC Masters. Yeah, we talked about WMAC Masters ways back. Yeah, that show is fantastic. They have all of it on YouTube. Someone uploaded all of them. Let's see. What was it? Whoop. It says, why add the drama to guys who get into a fight in general come out to understanding rather than keeping the same thing going next week and the week after? Here's the thing, because that's not how people work sometimes. There's sometimes I've gotten in fights with people and I still hate them afterwards, even if we make up. But the thing is, it's not about that. I mean, yeah, it is the drama, it is a soap opera, but I don't know. Sometimes it just works. I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, if you don't like it, you simply don't like it, and I'm not going to try and change your mind about it. And I'm not the person to change your mind about it. But sometimes I have discovered that when people see wrestling in a certain light or they watch a certain wrestling promotion, here's the thing. They don't do wrestling the way, like if you're talking about WWE wrestling. That is where shit gets ridiculous when they drag shit out for too long. AEW is a bit different. When people have a feud, they usually have the feud. They stay at each other's throats. They have a big match, and then they kind of put it to bed for a while. The two people move on and do other shit. Which I think is why people are having a hard time adjusting to AEW, because they're used to WWE dragging out The Rock and John Cena for a year, dragging out Stone Cold and The Rock for 2 years, dragging out Stone Cold and Vince McMahon for literally several years, dragging out The Rock and Triple H for actual years. AEW doesn't really do that, but largely because it's a younger company. But typically in AEW, yeah, when two people get into it, they usually get into it for maybe about a month, maybe 2 months, and then after that, they're done. That's me overestimating them, because they don't do pay-per-views every month. They do a pay-per-view like once every 3 to 4 months, if that. So they just handle everything on free TV. Let's see here. Was thinking about Young Justice TV show. Is season 4 any good? Carter didn't seem to care for it very much, I don't think, but I enjoyed it. It's not a happy-go-lucky season. It's a season about mental health and PTSD and trauma. So your mileage with it is going to vary. But every episode is generally about people going through some shit, which I'm fine with. It did get a little rough towards the end for me because I was like, okay, I'm depressed now. I need to go talk to somebody. But I enjoyed it. It's not their strongest season, though. I think season 1 and 2, I think, are their strongest. I think, personally. Carter, what do you think?
I would agree with that. It's just the Beast Boy shit got on my nerves at a certain point. Like it was like I get it, but they just kept trying to hit that home. But
well, I mean, I think also speaking as people who have actually gone through mental health crises ourselves, I think it also kind of weighed. Here's the thing: if you are a person who has dealt with mental health, you will probably get tired of the show in season 4. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I kind of caught, like, even with Carter, because I remember I was like, oh, Carter, you're being too hard on it. And then the more I kept going, I was like, maybe he's on to something. But, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see here. What do we got? Yeah, the playlist. Yeah, there's a playlist. Dude, Shadow K, you were at the Britt Baker... you were in San Antonio? That's awesome. I actually watched her blog, or her vlog on it, Thunder Rosa's. Thunder Rosa's a really charismatic person. I like her a lot. And yes, those moves do really hurt. Let's see. I'm going back to see if we got anything else. I think that's it. Let's see here. Oh, here, I got one last one. This will be the last one. Bill says, who will carry Mora's corpse and put her into stasis following 10 deaths? 5. Could she be treated the same way as Nightcrawler, like Dr. Stasis did? Like, talk about basically, was she, like, going to be kept? I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to keep her.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, she got out. She's free. Like,
plus,
she
I mean,
emerged
she's not a
from the
mutant.
grave. Yeah, she's not a mutant either.
So they couldn't do it if they wanted to.
No.
Not that they would want to, because I think plus it would. I think that means that would just find out that she's not actually dead, and then Moira and Destiny, and then that whole can of worms will start up again. So
yeah, I also will agree. Sekiro is the harder Soulsborne game. I will say that Sekiro is egregiously hard, in my opinion. I think that game.
What do you think has more cheap shit, Elden Ring or Sekiro? Because you were just telling me last night how much cheap shit Elden Ring.
I will say no. Elden Ring has the cheapest bosses.
Mm-hmm.
I think Elden Ring has some of the cheaper bosses just because Elden Ring, like last night, I went against Melania, the Blade of Mikola. Fuck that bitch. I fucking hate that boss. I was actually at a point where I was like, you know what? I don't even have to fight her. She's an optional boss. But I want to beat her now just to say I did it. Because when I do New Game Plus, knowing that she's optional, I'm never going to fight this bitch again.
Is Raccoon optional too? Or whatever the fuck his name is?
Radon? Starscourge Radon? Yeah, he's optional, I think.
Wow.
A lot of the bosses are optional. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Radon is optional. I don't think you have... Okay, I tell you what. Radon is optional. Excuse me. But... if you want to unlock certain things, like there's certain weapons and items or methods of doing certain things that if you want to get them, you do need to beat him. Or if you want a certain ending, you do need to beat him. But he is not necessary to progress the game as normal. But yeah, there you go. Let's get it on down. Like I said, go ahead. We're going to end the stream now. Go ahead. Once the stream is over, come back to it. Put in your comments. I will go through them, and I will pick a random winner. To do this, though, I do ask you be a part of the continental United States, because if you live in England or across the pond, if I would have to ship this across a body of water to get it to you, I'm not going to do it. That shit is way too expensive. Also, it's technically not okay to do. Or I know YouTube has a weird thing about it. So yeah, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Love you guys. It's been a jam-packed show. Actually meant for this to be one of the shorter ones. It did not happen because what happens? Carter and I get to talking. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And Carter, do you have anything you want to say before we get out?
No, I'm good.
All right, then I say fuck it. We are getting down. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Those of you who are patrons or Blerd Club, the videos for you, the exclusive videos, top 5 comics of the week, will be going up here very shortly. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye to the community tab. Or if you're on Patreon, you'll get a notification because that's how Patreon works. And, man, I know I promised some videos coming up this week, but I've actually been in a really weird headspace, so I haven't put out as much as I would have liked to. However, just so you know, I have not forgotten about Miss Marvel. I have not forgotten about Nighthawk. I have also not forgotten about some of the other stuff I'm working on. I do have some videos that I'm working on concurrently. 3 separate videos that are character breakdowns that'll be dropping over the course of the next couple of weeks. So keep it locked here for that. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead, consider subscribing, because, you know, what else are you doing? Anyway, we'll see you all next time. We're out of here. Bam.